You have just entered the KBMOD podcast. Keyboard plus mouse or die.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 119 of the KBMOD podcast. The date is November 24th. It is 7:26 p.m. PST, which means it's 10:26 p.m. PST or EST in Pittsburgh or wherever else you're listening to this fucking episode, because you're not live with us right now. So it doesn't really matter, does it? None of it's all pointless. It's all pointless. Also, guess what? Despite the title, John Carmack is not on live with us on this episode. That is a news story. So if that fooled you into listening to the podcast, keep listening, because shame on you. We got you here. So, how's everyone doing?
Ow.
Hey.
I'm doing well.
Good.
I'd be doing better if John Carmack was here.
Me too. I think we all would be.
Like my lager warm.
I'd be very confused if he was here.
It would be an odd thing. I mean, yeah, we could.
Just because he'd be talking, I wouldn't have a fucking clue what he was saying.
That's true too. He'd be giving a keynote.
Well, given the recent news that we'll talk about soon, I mean, he has maybe a little extra free time on his hands.
Yeah, he might.
I don't think so. That guy epitomizes nerd. I mean, in a good way. Like, it's great to hear him talk, but
also John Carmack's ripped, so he's not a fat, sweaty nerd.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Right?
No, he's a thin guy.
I don't know about ripped though. I don't know. Would you say
he's rip-towned?
Okay. He's just
he's
real
wiry.
Thin.
He's wiry.
Yeah, that's
I
a
feel
good.
like
I'm googling.
John Carmack's the kind of guy that, like, if someone picks a fight in a bar, like, look at that nerd, John Carmack would mess him up. You know what I mean? But I don't know if he's shredded. Oh, he's shredded, is what Antion's saying.
He's shredded.
I don't, Antion, I think you need to get your standards up a little higher. Okay, I don't think he's shredded. But yeah, what's been going on this week? We don't have to talk directly about what we've been playing. Did anyone have any fun happenings happen to them this week?
Let me.
I don't know what that fun happenings are, but
let me just say something really quick. We've already thanked for Extra Life, but the total has been updated somewhat even since we did our thank you post, because Jordan put his T-shirt money in. We are so close to 200K.
Oh wow!
That, like, I feel like I want to do another stream or something
To get to 200.
I know, right?
We are at $197,961.75 raised. So thank you guys again. I just wanted to update that because Jordan's shirt money hadn't gone in. So he just threw that 10K in there.
Oh, nice.
Just threw it in.
Throw it.
Is there a certain cutoff for when you can stop streaming?
No.
December
31st.
December 31st is when donations will
stop. So what's that put our total money raised at now for, like, everything?
325K, roughly, something like that. Definitely
Next
over 300,000.
We'll get to $500,000. So yeah, we'll just say 325 sounds about right.
So, pretty amazing job by you guys. We just played some video games, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have contacted all winners of Extra Life prizes. So if you won something or think you won something and didn't hear from us, or have questions,
so
you should let us know soon. Well, I mean, also, yeah, but you should let us know if you haven't gotten contacted and you want a prize, because we had a lot to sort through after a 45-hour marathon.
Mm. Is it an issue then that I went into the Google document, just deleted all the Excel spreadsheet looking things? I just figured we didn't need them anymore.
That's funny, as if we'd give you access to that document.
God damn it. Yeah, so what about what's been going on, guys? Gaming this week. What have we gamed? Let's start. I guess we'll start with that. You know what I also want to start doing? I want to do, beyond what we gamed, I want to know if anything actually exciting happened to any of us nerds.
That's been always my whole point with this thing. I've put what's going on in there before, not just when we've been playing. Yeah. But everyone just keeps talking about games anyway.
That's true.
Because nobody does anything.
That's true. Yeah. So our lives aren't that
greasy nerds.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, like, if something happened, like if, I don't know, like maybe Nick Fenton went to 7-Eleven and he looked into a girl's eyes, I might want to know about that, right?
I
definitely want to know.
Or he looked into the clerk's eyes and got immediately, like, really intensely uncomfortable and paid for his
am I gonna be
snack
you gonna
cake,
fucking tell the story or not?
Away.
What, Nick?
Tell the story, Nick.
You can tell
7-Eleven between aisles 2 and 3.
Yeah.
He knows the aisles.
I had wax paper around my churro. It was touching my uvula. I was getting ready to deep throat it, and I made eye contact with this hot cougar who had a little bit of fur on her chin, a little bit of peach fuzz going.
Nice.
So I got on top of the counter where the lottery tickets are, and I just ripped my shirt off and slowly unbuttoned my Amish-style pants.
What the shit?
What?
And then I lubed up with 10 Slurpees.
What happened after? Did you just lube up and then?
Yeah, that's all I did. I didn't actually touch her.
Nothing
You
actually
just
happened.
greased yourself up with some Slurpee and then like, bam.
Could you
that's
clarify
Amish
what exactly
I'm sorry, I
Amish style
brought this up the
pants
last
are?
time.
You know, the ones that fly where it's just buttons, you know?
Yeah, there's no, like colonial pants.
They don't believe in zippers,
Practically.
actually, because it creates energy from friction. So you have to use buttons. Yeah. I don't...
Yeah, that's dangerously close to getting
Can I
a
ask
boner.
why you were eating your churro before you had paid for it?
Yeah.
No, I already
He's a
paid
real
for it.
gangster.
Oh, you
already
already
paid
paid
for
for
it.
it. You were just
And-
loitering
no,
in the gas station.
I was posting up for my nice guys that we were gonna hang out. We were gonna. My buddy was gonna get on my pegs, and we were gonna do a drive-by with our airsoft guns.
Please.
Under fucking
Right now.
pegs.
Yeah, he's gonna hop on my pegs. We're gonna do a drive-by at the local park with our airsoft guns, which we spray painted the tips black so they look like real guns, so the cops can actually have a reason to shoot at us.
You know, a cop actually yelled at me once for that.
Yeah.
Real life.
Legal.
I had
fucking
some toy
dangerous.
guns. I had some toy guns. This is in like 1994, maybe even earlier. I had some toy guns, and I thought it would be a good idea to spray paint them black. And this cop just saw me run around the yard, and he stopped his car, like screeching brakes, stopped. He was like, "Kid, can't do that," and he confiscated my gun.
Yeah, dude.
What a dick!
Because it's fucking
like
dangerous.
10.
It looks like a fucking gun. You can't do that.
Come on, dude. A 10-year-old's not running around his yard with an AK-47 and
had, yeah, I mean,
It's not
might
happening,
not have been
dude.
supervised properly.
Well,
That's what
Well,
the
you
fucking
say
Taliban
that.
says, right?
You say that doesn't happen, but then it totally does.
Does
And you're wrong about that. Kids do get their hands on guns. But maybe not AK-47s. Kids get their hands. Did anybody read that story? It was like a year ago or something. Some guy took his 3-year-old to a fucking gun show and let him fire an Uzi. And
Yes,
the kid
killed him.
threw it up, and the kid shot himself in the fucking head and died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
happened.
kid's an idiot. Come on.
No, the
not an
father.
idiot.
The
The parent
kid
is
was
an idiot.
3. The kid is now dead. His father's a fucking idiot.
Oh, the father. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not hear part of the
Wow,
beginning of
Dan,
that.
just
Understand
heartless.
it.
I like how we're just
His dad-
leaving the conversation. We're
His
gonna get to
dad
it.
took his
I'm-
3-year-old to a gun show and let his
I'm
3-year-old put an Uzi in his 3-year-old's hand. It was like,
I'm
this will
stop-
be fun.
oh, I'm using executive
just gonna
power
go
to
out on a limb
stop
and
this
say
topic.
that
I don't want to
because
get on gun rights. Stop. We're done.
We're not.
I'm not talking about gun rights. I'm saying
talking
kids
about
get
dumb
guns.
parents.
I feel the
That guy's
transition
cool.
happening, and I don't like it. I
No,
don't
you
wanna
just
get-
want to transition so that you can rant
Nick,
about gun rights.
I'm
I
just
think.
saying, kids can get their hands on guns, and it happens really often.
Listen.
Nick, this is a podcast about secular living.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So-
It's atheist
All right,
approved.
All right.
This whole podcast.
How the fuck is holiday music atheist approved? It's fucking holiday. Holiday. Oh my god, I'm fucking done.
You're
It
saying
seems
you're
like you don't
already
have a very
mad.
strong opinion on this.
Yeah.
Fucking done.
Well, did anyone else have any weird things happen this week besides the churro incident of Nick Fenton? With
I used the
North?
power of science to burn Annie Lennox's Christmas album on my Bunsen burner.
What?
You were enlightened by the flames.
Why do you
I
own
made
a
a GIF
Bunsen
of it
burner?
and put it on Science GIFs.
Yeah.
Because there was a Bunsen burner in it, so it qualified.
I took Gino to obedience class this weekend. It was his
How'd that
first
go?
time.
It's,
Went all right. He's not as dumb as the animal shelter told us he was. So he did pretty well.
all right.
Pretty well.
Given the demeanor and all the pictures that I see of him, he doesn't look like he would disobey. He looks like he'd just hang out.
He does just hang out most of the time. But he already, after one class, he stopped jumping on people. So
Smoked
Really?
a-
That's
I
pretty
smoked
solid.
a dude
Yeah.
with him while I was at your house.
I know you did. Yeah, I couldn't even tell. 'cause his eyes were
No, we
always
went in the
cracked out.
bathroom and then I fucking sprayed Febreze everywhere and like we were fine. Like,
Sprayed Febreze all over his fur.
yeah, I got it in there.
Cover it up.
Now he's dead. God damn it.
Sprayed it straight into his eyes.
Wow.
So
Poor dog.
that's about all I did.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I really don't have anything much to offer in the way of
I
excitement.
did the technical problems hour of power this week.
Oh yeah, the first bit. Oh, don't get me started.
You made some really delicious looking drink on that show.
I did, yeah. 17 ingredient gamer cocktail. Definitely recommend. Jesus Christ. It's just fucking is so bad. Yeah, beer. Anytime you add milk and beer and like a monster, it's just
milk and beer.
Yeah,
milk and beer.
And Baja sriracha kind of sauce in there too.
And it looked absolutely horrid, by the way. Like, it made me cringe watching you drink that.
Salt and pepper for taste as well.
Did you throw up?
No, I didn't throw up. But I mean, I drank enough of it that my stomach was upset for a while. But yeah, I did. That's true. I did do that this week. But yeah. What else? What about you, Brandon? What's been going on with you?
Not a whole lot. Just preparing for Thanksgiving. I can't wait to.
Are you buying bigger pants or?
Brandon's gonna make some turkey hot pockets. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
baking pies.
Yeah, I've just been looking forward to actual like winter weather. We don't really have winter weather here.
Really? It's been pretty cool.
I mean, it's been cool, but it's not the same.
Where are you going for winter weather?
Wait, where are you going?
I'm going to San Antonio. But like, we typically.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about? It's 14 degrees outside my fucking house.
Right. No, I know.
He's like, I gotta buy my snowshoes. I'm going back.
No. I'm just saying, it's like there's no real winter here. It's just maybe it gets a little bit cold. But in San Antonio, you get extremes. Like it'll freeze at night and things like that. It's like I'm not going into the tundra. Right, I get that. I'm just saying, it's nice when you
tell me you're preparing. So wait,
I'm preparing more like mentally and getting ready to give.
The land is playing on the ice.
Brandon is having sexual relations because he won't be doing that at his parents' home. That is how Brandon is.
Now that makes a lot more sense.
The preparations take multiple forms.
Oh man,
you just don't want to be caught unprepared.
That's true.
It's true.
It's quite true. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you wanna. So you're. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you're getting laid a lot before you go to your parents' house. All right, let's go. Just go down the list. John, anything exciting happen to you this week?
No, I mean I was in Pittsburgh last week at a grand's sick, so
yeah,
I didn't really play much. But I dinged level 90 like 3.5 hours before I left for Pittsburgh.
Oh.
On a warrior, so that was cool because I said I was going to do that like in vanilla WoW. I said I was going to have a warrior, and I never did because I'm a lazy piece of shit. So I finally did that.
Nice.
And I haven't played anything else all week except BF4 because it's incredible.
You also faction transferred something, as I discovered.
I did. I faction transferred my hunter over to be with the rest of my characters because I will have 490s going into the new expansion pack. So I will never speak to any of you again.
Nerd.
Jesus. 4. I have 150. That's it. All right. Well, I guess we could start with the proper Blacklight. What have you been playing? And then also, if you have any other interesting anecdotals other than taking selfies on your toilet in your at your work.
Yeah, work toilet. Yeah, I get a lot done in that bathroom.
Yeah. You ever jerked off in that bathroom? Real talk.
Real talk? No, I've actually never jerked off at any of my jobs.
How many of you have ever jerked off at work? And be honest, any job you've ever had?
Never. Never. I don't know why. It's just a threshold they've never been willing to cross.
Nick doesn't get. Nick,
so too dirty.
So technically,
I can do that whenever.
I mean, there have been periods of time where I've been working.
Why do you think Nick's camera is facing the ceiling?
Technically.
I would argue that you are not secure in your job or sure that you should be there until you've jerked off in your company's bathroom. Amongst in a stall with other men around you, but also trying to hide.
Sounds really gay.
They've been
Sounds
difficult. I like that your detail was there had to be other men in the stalls around you.
That makes it more challenging. A lot of people.
If you say so.
Okay.
Well, it should make it more challenging. Well, I mean, I shouldn't. Hey, if that's your, different strokes for different folks.
You're digging yourself a hole there.
Yeah, this
Scott.
is really not going anywhere good.
Scott's over here like, I love a good challenge.
It's actually kind of surprising that I've managed to never jerk off at work because I've been working since I was like 14.
Yeah.
And I've pretty much steadily held a job since 14. And that's really when, like, you're getting into the swing of masturbation. You know what you like.
Yep.
You've been at it for, like, maybe 2 years now. You are fucking, like, confident when you jerk off. and your hormones are just at this insane level where it is completely uncontrollable,
Multiple
and you
times
just
a day.
yeah, you're breaking records and shit. You're keeping count, comparing with your friends. Yeah, and I mean, it's amazing that I've managed to never do it, but I never ever have, and I would actually never want to jerk off at my current job because it's just too soul crushing. I feel like if I started jerking off,
it's so soul crushing you can't get a boner.
I have such opportunities to jerk off at work. I work alone for long hours. You know, the bathroom is like deafening silent. It's like a soundproof room in the bathroom. I have every opportunity. I have internet access. It's unmonitored.
What do you mean?
You
should be jerking off. You should be jerking off multiple times a night.
The problem is that I'm worried I will then develop a fetish for soul crushing, and that I won't be able to get a boner unless I'm miserable. So I would need a girl that like shows up and is like, "You're never gonna go anywhere in life," and I'm like, "Yes, tell me how much I'm never gonna get anywhere in life," and then I'm hard. But if she's like nice to me and shit, I'm like, "Oh God, I'm not into this. I can't do this."
No, there lies the truth. Okay, now that's an understandable.
I'm worried about that. That's a real concern of mine. So that's why I haven't crossed that threshold.
Worried that you're gonna have to start setting up like really elaborate scenarios for yourself.
Yeah,
the only way you can get a boner. Or is the humiliation. Yeah, I understand, and that could require a lot of scenarios, a lot of work.
Not even humiliation, just misery.
Misery in general.
I would like need a woman that just makes me feel like shit about myself.
Like self-loathing.
Although it's a surprise that I haven't developed that. That if you've met any of my ex-girlfriends, you'd be surprised I haven't developed that fetish already.
Man. Wow.
Yeah, so as for what I've been playing, started getting back into TF2. I'm really, really, really on and off with this game, but right now I'm feeling it. I'm back in the swing of things. I'm having fun. I'm pub stomping as a shitty demo night right now, which like should not
right
be
now. He's playing right this very second. Actually, as you can hear by his non-mechanical keyboard, you can hear it just
my scrub ass
like shit.
Keyboard. Yeah, it sounds awful.
Insane in the membrane. Haha, get it, membrane.
I picked up the.
I laughed, Nick.
Yeah,
all right, we all laughed. We're done with this joke now.
I didn't realize
are you going for the Family Guy laughs, where you just keep doing a joke after it stopped being funny until it loops around and becomes funny again?
Wow.
You could.
I think those are called memes.
Oh, memes. Okay, yeah.
It's pronounced meme.
I read about this on knowyourmeme.com. I picked up the new Mario today. It's actually really solid, which is not a pleasant surprise because Mario hasn't actually had a good game in a while. In my opinion, anyway. And a lot of people they did this series called the New Super Mario Brothers, where they like try to go back to the roots, and it just didn't work in my opinion. The new one kind of takes some of the ideas they developed in the New Super Mario Brothers, throws in some old school stuff, and they managed to strike a nice blend between the old 2D Marios and the newer 3D Marios, starting like Mario 64. So for anybody, for the 3 people in chat who have a Wii U, this is actually a reason to own a Wii U.
Might be the only 3 people in the world.
Yeah, you might actually. We might actually, but it actually.
Yo, exchange each other's friend codes. Mine's 1. Is yours 2?
mine's 000.
Are you 2 or 3?
I'm the 4th. I think number 1 is Miyamoto.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, he doesn't even have one.
Yeah, he gave up. He sold his on eBay.
It's like, I thought the Wii U was just an expansion pack for a Wii. Dude, you're the president of the company, or you were the president of the company. Come on, man. I picked up the new Zelda while I was out as well, but I have not played that yet.
But it sucks.
Yeah,
I also heard excellent things about that. So.
I've heard.
That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing the new Zelda's no good.
I mean, it's nice to see Nintendo getting back into the swing of things because they have that classic charm, but they just weren't able to make it work in recent years with a lot of their titles, just really falling flat. Console launches being a fucking joke.
They also just decided to launch a console, and then they were just like, games.
They're like,
whatever.
We don't have any software.
We'll have a Zelda for you in a couple of years. It's all right.
Just going to release a console, but just not do any of the things you have to do in order to make a console work. So they're learning the folly of not advertising and not having any games, and they're slowly starting to correct that. We'll see how too little too late this might be, because it may well be too little too late, but what's it called? It's called Mario 3D World, I think is the full name. Super Mario 3D World. It's actually a really solid title. So far, I'm like 2 worlds in. It's got good completionist objectives if you like collectathon kind of bullshit, where you can get through the game or you can get through the game 100%. Either way. And then on the non-game side of things, Bruno got approved for being a therapy dog. Me dog Bruno.
Therapy Dougal.
He had to take a bunch
therapy.
of tests and shit, and he got licensed to be a therapy dog, which is basically like right up his alley. His job will basically be to just go to sick ass people in hospital beds and then just like snuggle with them for like 20 minutes, and that's his job. He's like perfect for that.
Do you get paid for that? For him?
No, it's all volunteer work.
Oh wow.
They ain't paying us shit. But
There are
Bruno?
women in Japan that get paid to cuddle with people. Like, come on.
Just jerk them off too.
Bruno's not a Japanese. So,
Like, does Bruno know how to jerk off a person?
no, he doesn't.
You should teach him, and then you can start getting paid.
Then why even get fucking certified? Why do you fucking waste your time?
You not know what therapy means, because not all of it involves jerking people off.
Okay, sexual therapy is a thing.
Yeah, it is, and I guarantee
it is. Bruno is not a sexual therapy.
Sexual healing.
That's the real thing.
I don't even know if he's really going to help anybody get better, or if he's just going to alleviate how shit their life is for like a minute. Because he's very soft and cuddly. He's like the softest dog you've ever met. I don't know what it is. Something about his coat. He's just super, super soft. And we're looking at adopting a new dog to be a sister for Bruno. We might be getting another German
God.
I think he may have been a confirmed sexual relief dog, and all of that softness of his skin is from all the work he did back in the day.
I mean, I've heard it can be used as a conditioner.
Yeah, and actually helps soften the fur. So
you don't want to know what Bruno's
silky smooth coat.
It would
tastes
really
like salt.
hamper the whole podcast.
It would bum you out.
It would bum you out. Bruno's got a really sad story behind him.
Well, okay, I'm just trying to make a joke here, but okay, fair enough. You know,
Bad. I shot that shit down because that's my little boy you're talking about. That's my little bro.
well, I'll give him a hug next time I see him, and then I'll jerk you off. So that's
an
cool.
In front of Bruno to teach him a lesson. Look, this is how you do it.
I can't.
This is how you do it, Bruno.
He's like, I don't have those. He's like, I got like this thing, and it just like I can't separate these. That's all I got. I can't make this. He's like, the information you're giving me isn't helping me at all. Do you have any cheese that I would like to eat? You can put it in my cheese. He loves cheese.
Dogs love cheese.
Dogs fucking love cheese.
I've never.
Yeah, as long as you don't overdo it, it can fatten
You
them
guys
up.
remember that the Borrowers Disney movie and the guys the inspector who comes to try to get rid of the borrowers feeds his dog on cheese. Does anyone remember that movie? No one?
The Borrowers? Is that about the little people?
The little people. Yeah, it's a book. Yeah, the book.
Oh, Little People, Big World. I've seen it.
Oh God,
Sounds like a ghetto movie.
not that reality show. No, The Borrowers is a great film, and you should check it out.
I never saw it, but
I'm just not gonna.
That's great. That's
when I
cool.
was a kid.
All right.
Yeah, that's
next.
It's starring John Goodman, so I'm definitely
let's do Nick next. Let's do hovering Nick in his Harry Potter invisibility cloak.
I've been playing Batman Arkham Origins a little bit and Smite, and I played through Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was that was a pretty interesting game. Once again, more of an experience than a game.
Let's talk about that highly on the Bombcast.
It's it's hard to name 10 better games.
Nobody else gets that joke.
Than Brothers: A Tale of Two
Bombcast,
Sons.
So
It's
that
hard-
is a solid.
It's hard to name 10
Bombcast
better
pick.
games than that. No, it was really good. It's I've had a couple days to reflect on it, think about it, and I would say, it's probably one of the better games I've played this year. It's up there. It's in the same range as Gone Home was. It's the same kind of it's mostly about the story, but Gone Home, there's no there's dialogue, but it's in a fake language. It's in Sims language. But there's there's an overarching story that you don't necessarily need the dialogue for. You understand what's going on anyway, just by what's going on around you. And I don't know, it was a charming game. It's pretty cheap, so if you're into that, I think it's $15, maybe. I think it was 15.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's Steam says I have 3.4 hours on it, so it's not super super short, And it's interesting because the controls are with the 2 thumbsticks. You use 1 stick to control each brother, so it's kind of weird to get used to that. Like, even at the end, it was kind of, my brain still needed, like, there were a couple times where it was like I was confused because, like, if the brother that I was using to control the left stick was on the right side of the screen, like, I would want to control with my right stick, and it got very confusing in my brain. But yeah, they don't make it difficult to, like, the puzzles and stuff aren't, like, super difficult, so it's not like you're not going to be frustrated.
All right, well, that's good.
Well, I might be. You don't know that.
You don't know my level of tolerance.
I'm pretty sure Nick plays these, like, really emotionally charged games naked and then just touches himself as he cries to the endings. He loves them. He really loves them.
Like,
and
really,
he always tries to get me to play them, and I feel like I don't know.
You never do because you're a punk.
Because I don't like to get in touch with my
yes, bitch.
Because I don't like to get in touch with my emotions like you do. But I appreciate that you can do that. Anything else? Did you play anything else? That's it.
I played a little tiny bit of Battlefield 4.
Oh, yes.
What, were you going to say something?
No, I was reading that someone was already telling APL, or I don't know, this username has told us all what we've already played, and he sums it up the segment 95% of the time. Brandon has been playing Life. I've been playing CS or LOL. Yeah, well, okay. Thanks a lot, dude. Glad you have it all figured out.
Except neither Dan any MOBA. Clearly true.
Yeah, that one.
We'll be playing the shit out of Heroes of the Storm, though, I think. Just looks different. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for any new quote-unquote MOBA ARTS thing. Like, I want to play Dawngate. I want to try that. And I want to play Strife. Like, I want to play all of them. I just want to try them. That's all I want. I want to try different ones. Like, I understand the formulas at this point, where it's like I want something that's like that changes it up enough where, like, I have to, like, learn stuff more. Like,
you want to learn more things than you have to learn in Dota.
Dota is just, like, always learning. But, like, I understand the main concepts of Dota. Like, I understand the main concepts of League of Legends, and I understand the main concepts of Smite. Like, I want something that mechanically that would throw me off, that I would have to, like, change the way I would think about a game.
Seems like Heroes of the Storm will be that.
Yeah, I think the objective stuff in that game would. I don't know.
All right.
Words.
All right. Fair enough. Brandon, go to you.
Just been playing some BF4. It's I still contend that it is now, I think, one of the best games to play with people. It is one of the worst games to play by yourself. It is so bad by yourself that I quit out of frustration, and I'm now just not going to play if no one else is on, because it really is that bad.
I started out playing solo, and I was okay with that. And then, like, the first week I had a few times when I played solo, and it was fine. And then, now that I've played with people, and I played a solo game earlier today, and I rage quit, like, within 10 minutes. So I was like, nobody's doing anything correctly here.
I play solo to learn game mechanics. That's pretty much it, because I'm
so
not a Battlefield player.
So,
well, it also, I think, it kind of depends on the game mode that you play. Like Conquest, playing Conquest by yourself is the worst experience, because it's all vehicle driven, and the only way you can succeed with vehicles is if you have, like, not dumb people helping you with them. Whether you're flying a helicopter, whether you're in a tank, like, you have to have someone with you to help repair and, like, you know, support you. Otherwise, you just go nowhere. And maybe I haven't played quite as much of the infantry stuff, like Domination and TDM. Maybe those are bearable by yourself, but even then, I don't think I'd want to try it. So when I'm by myself, I play League of Legends ARAMs, and that's the other thing.
When I play Battlefield 1, I just go on, like, the Conquest TDM servers, and it's fine.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean that's the only way it's tolerable, because TDM doesn't matter. You're just killing stuff.
Well, it's also good for leveling your stuff.
True.
It is. It is good for leveling kit, which...
Yeah. But that's all I've been playing. We have a lot of activity in Mumble. We got a new Mumble server. I think we had mentioned that. But a lot of people in Mumble, which has been really cool. It's nice to actually hop on and, like, play a game with... I think last night or Friday, we had like 20 plus people in Mumble playing Battlefield. So that was really cool.
The team stacks are strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, we did indeed do some team stacking. And then just League of Legends and then and Hearthstone. Played a little bit of Hearthstone last night. I got a few wins in a row, which I'm still basically just using all the basic decks. I just want to get all the exclamation points off of the classes and like unlock all the basic cards, and then I'll actually dig in a little bit more and start building decks.
It totally changes the game, even just having those 10 basic cards or however many it is.
Yeah.
Like Shaman without Bloodlust is so garbage, it's not even funny.
Yeah, that's why I don't even like playing some of them, because their basic decks are just so bad, and I haven't unlocked them, but I kind of just follow the quests right now. And so I think I'm gonna get a little bit more into it once I've unlocked all the basic cards for each class. Then I'm gonna actually start digging in and like messing with deck building.
Nice.
All right. Who else? We need you to go, Dan, and I'll go, I guess.
Yep. BF4, I have 80 hours in the game or something like that now since it came out. I can't stop playing it, and everyone loves playing it, like Brandon said. So it's fun to get on a server and do well together. But I've also been playing a lot of Hearthstone. Like I played a lot before, but I've been playing that's all I did today. Mainly because I can take my laptop up into my living room and play Hearthstone, and also hang out with the family and that kind of thing. So
once Hearthstone comes to iPad, it's just over.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm ready for my life to be consumed.
Yeah. So I've been also recording like a ranked series. Ranked is a whole other animal, but I never get frustrated, even when I get absolutely killed in rank, because you kind of know it's coming, even in the lower end, because you start out in unranked automatically, and you have to actually click on the ranked thing to play it. So I think a lot of players, not that they don't know it's there, but like just haven't even bothered clicking on the
How's the
button to switch.
How does it rank? Like, do you get you have to play a certain amount of matches to get ranked?
So it's just like I think it's the same as like StarCraft ladders as far as designations, but I could be completely wrong on that. I'm in Copper League right now, 3-star Copper League.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that's not very good.
No, it's just Star. I've only played like maybe under 10 games.
Okay.
So, but I've won 4 or 5. And only lost a couple, but I just in ranked you never. I don't ever get mad anyway, because you know that if someone's, as you rank up, you know that if someone's playing ranked, they probably have good cards, or at least an idea of what they're doing. So it's always a learning experience, at least for me. Hearthstone isn't really a rage-inducing game ever for me. So mainly because you can also just hit concede. So if you're like, well, this guy's going to shit down my throat, and that's pretty clear, so I'm just going to hit this button and move on to the next match. And the thing is, it's fine, too, because it's not like a MOBA or something, because the game only takes 10 to 20 minutes. So there shouldn't be a penalty for leaving. You take a loss anyway. So, I mean, you know, if you don't have the 10 to 20 minutes to get through and you have to disconnect, that's kind of on you. So I don't think there's any sort of bad thing about that. But it lets you move on to the next game, so that's fine. Like Blah with his Murloc deck, if he doesn't win by turn 5 or 6, just fucking concede that shit.
Yep.
Just leave, because you're not going to win at that point. So
yeah, the worst you control someone is knowing you're going to lose and then just not playing, like waiting.
Yeah,
I had that happen to me.
Timeout.
Yeah, I had that happen to me last night, where I had like 5 minions on the board and the guy had 5 health left, and he just sits there, doesn't play, knows he's going to lose, and it's like
it cuts their turn in half after a while too, and it starts costing them life after a certain amount of turns.
Yeah, no, it does, but I mean, basically, if they're going to lose that next turn, they just wait it out to be an asshole.
But I think some people may have a different opinion. I actually really like that you can't talk in the game. I like that you can just do the emotes. I think they should probably have more emotes.
You can also squelch your opponent immediately, so you don't even have to even if they're being a dick and threatening you, or spamming.
But even that, it's just it's almost funny, because it's like you can't make someone mad using the emotes they have provided.
No, there's one way. There's one way that somebody kept doing to me that really pissed me off. Every time he like countered something I did, and not like I played poorly or something. It was that like I dropped like a 4 or 5 minion, and then he would polymorph it or something. He would then spam well played. Like,
that's pretty.
That's such a,
no, the other one that's
move.
good. The other one is that was a mistake. That was a mistake is a good one.
Yeah,
Well,
there's-
that's your oops emote.
right.
And
That's
some
I guess
people.
that's the only way is like doing an emote and hoping you get the one that potentially sounds like it could be talking to the other person, but it's talking about your own.
Exactly.
Shout outs to Sean, by the way. Just had to throw that in. That was a good tweet. Hearthstone has been sort of my crack lately.
How many
I
hours do
started
you have in
playing
that? You neglected to tell us.
I have no idea how many hours I have in it. The thing with that, though, is I can hop in, play 3 or 4 games, and it's maybe only been 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I
It's
can
a
just
good
hop
thing
off.
to kill the time, just
So-
a little bit here and there.
So, whereas in Battlefield, one game is 24 minutes. So, I mean, and then if I might get screwed out of XP if I lose early sometimes, or leave early. But those have really been the only 2 games. I actually played Isaac for the first time in a very long time on Friday. And then I tried to play Risk of Rain, which is like a roguelike platformer, which is supposed to be extremely fun and extremely hard. No sound in the game. Bought the game, and then we didn't end up playing it because no sound. There's supposed to be sound, it just would not work at all. So reinstall it, uninstall it, tried everything. So I hope to come back to it and play it, but I'm started doing and this is news, a little bit of like KBMOD news for everyone. On Fridays, I'm starting to do a quick look of like an hour of gameplay of like a random game that we haven't played before. I'll be doing that every Friday. So that was supposed to be Risk of Rain this Friday, but again, didn't really work. So we did the snow game, the CryEngine skiing game on one of those, and then we also did Contrast, which is a bad game. Don't buy it. So, random game is Maple Story this week. No. But, yeah, that's about all I've been playing. BF4 and Hearthstone are really all I need right now. So that's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and my answers are about the same. I actually didn't play any League this week. I been playing Counter-Strike, really liking Go. Same thing I said last week. Still playing a lot of ranked to that. I think I'm going to get back into ESEA, mainly just for the 128 tick servers. That sounds really nice. Been watching also a lot of Go competitively. What's happening?
It's Sean picture that he tweets.
Sean's tweet.
It's great. What else did I play? I played. I watched. Well, I went in and I was. Mission was having a launch stream for the X-Bone, so I went in and I watched an hour of gameplay of Horizon. My mother of God, what a boring ass looking game! I just couldn't.
It's really pretty.
It's pretty, but
But it's really,
dude,
really repetitive and really.
I've never seen a more repetitive like even the opening battle is like it was right away. I was like already bored after like
I just
you see
don't
the
know
combos, like,
why a development studio like Crytek was like, we need to make a launch game. What are we gonna make? Not a fucking shooter like we've already mastered. Let's make a fucking action game. Yeah.
Quick time event game.
Well, they may be sick of making shooters, but I just this game just has no. I mean, yeah, like you said, it looks fantastic, but other than that, it's just kind of Dead Rising. I didn't get a chance to play, but I also watched, and that actually looks a little more. I don't know, a little more fun. But yeah, and then I tried to play Dinner Date, but the fucking on my show, but there was no audio.
I was gonna say, I thought it looked interesting.
It does, and I might
wanted
actually
see
try
it.
to do a
It's
redo
like-
with audio at some point. I have it. I mean, I could just play through it. It's like a 20-minute game. I could play through it on my own. But yeah,
It's okay.
for me.
It's a game.
Yeah. Well, is it a game though, or is it just an experiment?
It's kind of a game.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Does-
Yeah, I mean, literally. I mean, I already know pretty much spoilers. I'm pretty sure that the woman never shows up to your dinner date. I'm sure. So,
Wow.
you know.
I think it says that in the beginning of the game.
Oh, does it?
So-
Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
not a spoiler. So, yeah,
So-
that's it for me. Other than that,
Is John left? Did John say his?
John went.
Oh yeah,
wow.
you did.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is it for the opening section. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 2-minute commercial break, and we'll be right back with the news.
I got it.
You got it. All right. Yeah, man. Those two games. I think I said this last week, but I said once BF4, Ghosts, Hearthstone, I don't know that I'll need another game. Not that I've touched Ghosts since Night 2 that it was out, but.
So I just looked up Crytek, and apparently they're making Homefront 2. I did not know that.
Yep. Yeah, that's a thing. Yep, that's been not old news. Well, it's pretty old news now.
Expected to be released sometime in 2014.
It was never highly publicized.
I didn't hate Homefront.
I liked Homefront. I thought the multiplayer was pretty damn fun. It was kind of an ugly looking game, but it was fun.
Black Ops stole the point system straight out of Homefront.
Well, not like revolutionary, but the classes weren't like Black Ops.
Yeah.
They were pretty standard loadouts. The kill streaks were like I guess it would be I don't care.
How did that run? How did that run on PC though? I played on console. It was just
it runs okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
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 It's Unreal Engine, I believe, right? Unreal?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I mean...
Pretty much if you make a shooter that wasn't mainstream, it's probably on Unreal.
And if you somehow fucked up Unreal, God, what did you do?
Yeah, especially, Unreal 3
Well, you can fuck up Unreal Engine games if you're Epic and you're making an Unreal tournament. Then you can
somehow they
do is fuck up.
Because the last Unreal tournament was ass. It was
Let's
ass.
also be clear.
I wouldn't say 3 was ass, but 3 was not tournament
ass.
standards.
And id can really mess up id tech because it's done it for about the last 10 years. So
it hasn't fucked up. They just haven't done anything interesting. They're just there.
They also don't license that engine. They just
they're also dumb. They're also dumb.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that.
We now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
All right, first piece of news I think we'll touch briefly on. I just want to ask this. I don't know if I'm pretty sure the answer is no to this. Did anyone on this podcast, this isn't for jokes, did anyone buy one of the new consoles? I have no idea if anyone did.
No.
I didn't think so, but...
There's no games,
There's no reason to right now. I'd like to play GTA Online. I think I'd greatly enjoy that game.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't like online.
It's not.
You
good.
wouldn't like it.
It's not good. It's really bad.
So Xbox
NHL
One came out Friday. Xbox One came out Friday, completing next gen. Nothing changed for us because nobody bought it.
It's not. I don't think it's going to impact any of us for at least 6 months until
the
things start coming out.
The first game that matters. The first game that matters for us as PC players mostly is Titanfall, and
that's we're getting that.
It's going to be on PC, so we're going to get it on PC. Watch Dogs is the same way, which is supposed to be a next gen game. I can't think of anything else in the interim that's coming out that will.
The only game that
console
I'm
exclusive that you care about a lot.
The only one is Destiny.
When's that coming out? Does anyone?
Q2
2014 sometime
Q2,
or something.
2014, so probably late spring, early summer.
As I said before this, once The Division was announced to be going to PC,
there was not really any draw.
I was very much going to order a PS4 a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And then once that got announced, I was like, well, there's no game. There's no games. I don't
for that anymore.
There's no reason. I have a gaming PC. There's no reason.
For me, it would be more of a media box, but I don't think we know enough yet about the full media capabilities of either one, because some things aren't there yet. People are still kind of figuring out everything, and I'm not in a hurry to spend $400 or $500 on something that I wouldn't really use that much.
To be clear, people in the chat are saying they bought one. I'm not trolling. I just honestly wanted to know because it's. I actually think the media stuff, from what I've heard on various podcasts I listen to and looking through reviews, the media stuff on Xbox One is really intriguing. It's just not there yet, just like the games. People are saying it looks really cool and it does really cool stuff. It just doesn't quite do it well enough yet. PS4 really has no games. Killzone has not grabbed people from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Really. If I'm Nick Fenton, I seriously consider it a PS4, though, simply because of the Vita stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays his Vita so much. You should ask him about it.
Well, no, the thing is, I was looking at
that.
remote play stuff. Like, I watched a video. I linked it on Twitter this week.
You won't use any of it.
It was
You
a
won't use
Battlefield
any of it.
4 like remote play. That was pretty sick.
Listen,
me
I
stop you
have been to Nick's apartment.
Yes.
It is not Nick's apartment.
Yeah, it's not. I don't need to.
It's not like he needs to go play in the other room.
No.
or something.
No, sometimes
You can
I
see
think
his
so.
entire apartment in one glance. Okay.
I think it's cool, but yeah, it's not. I'm not going to spend $400 on it right now. I'm not going to play it. There's nothing for me to remote
Let me
play.
give you a tip, Nick. When you bring your Vita on the plane and you play it for 2 minutes and then put it away on a 5-hour flight,
because my neck hurt from
it's
craning.
probably not a great purchase. Because that's like the kind of shit you should use it for.
Here's what I don't get. Like, early adopting on new consoles is always a bit of a game, always has been. Especially unless it was the N64 with Mario 64. Launch games traditionally not that great.
Yeah.
What a fucking game.
But
Look at
you
last
can't
gen.
you can't expect everything to work at launch, which is why, and it's the most expensive the console's ever going to be.
Yep.
Is day one. And even by next year this time, you will see like $100 less probably for some sort of package.
Right.
With no games or anything. It'll be, but
So what you're saying is people
get
that freak out about launches, about how terrible they are, should be better consumers and learn to wait. That's what you're saying.
Right. Also,
Yeah, I
if you're
totally agree
reviewing these consoles, you should just like take a step back for a second. Like, if you're chiming on anything that's like horribly broken on them, or like the fact that Xbox One doesn't support, like, I think it was Xbox One doesn't support like Dolby 5.1, like out of the box, like that's like a basic home theater thing for a thing that's supposed to be the center of your home theater, and it doesn't support it correctly yet. So, I mean, I don't know. I will probably get a PS4 down the line. As I said, I was going to get one at launch. Like, I was all ready to hit that pre-order button.
During E3, I was convinced I was going to get mine at launch, and then I was like, yeah. But like, when you look back at like the last generation, like now that I'm thinking of it, I didn't have any interest in the 360 the first year it was out until Gears of War came out in 2006. But I still didn't even get an Xbox until like late 2007, I think.
2010.
And I didn't get a PS3 until Uncharted 2 came out. Like I think it came out in 2009. So I mean,
it's so addicted to WoW and Counter-Strike Source that I skipped the Xbox and PS2 generation completely, never owned one. And then I didn't buy anything in the gen after that until they stopped making NHL for PC. And then I was like, well, shit, I have to get this game. So I bought like the cheapest arcade Xbox 360, no hard drive. Like
the arcade edition?
It was like $150 or something. Yeah. And like, I had to do it, so... But some
I'm
people
getting an
mentioning
Xbox One for NHL, but they don't come out till 2015 or something for Xbox One.
Yeah, the Ignite engine isn't out for that game for a couple years. The one game that's drawing my attention, and it's weird because it's free to play, is Killer Instinct. That game looks fucking awesome.
I was watching it. I saw your tweets about how hype it is to watch.
It looks like,
and then
I
went and I watched
hype.
someone stream. I was like, holy shit, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it looks fucking
it's
amazing.
Fucking awesome. But I would not pay $600 or $500 for Killer Instinct right now, which is essentially what I would be doing. So, all right, new consoles. That's all past us. We can move on.
Yep.
The hype is over. They're out. They're here. And now onto another week that is full of hype for buying shit. Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Is anyone here looking out for any deals on any sort of things? APL video card? You looking?
I mean, I should be. I'm not actively looking right now. No. But hey, just if you guys see something that's like a unpassable up deal,
I think
the
770 that I have drops, I'll probably get it. Even if it's just by like $50, I'll probably pick up a second 770.
I should buy a new video card.
Yes.
So
you
so
should.
I mean, So in to answer your question, yes, but I haven't really anticipated looking forward to it.
For those who don't know, I actually don't have any links in here, but Amazon every day this week, starting tomorrow, has like huge game sales. So it's console games, PC games, gaming accessories, controllers, all that stuff. Every day this week, it's like new sales, and Friday is like triple the amount of stuff from the other days. Newegg's been doing a lot. I bought a new router already. It's like $180 router for $54. So got that. And then I got a 3 terabyte hard drive for $100, which is not a crazy deal off a regular one, but it's still a really good deal. But Newegg has some really good shit going on this week, as does Amazon. It's hard to keep track. Slick Deals, if you don't look at Slick Deals this week, because they tend to aggregate everything in there. But it is a good time, and Brandon and I have talked about doing some sort of sale week guide. I don't know how successful we will be.
Maybe that's the problem.
So
the
hard.
problem now is that it's not just Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It is now just the latter half of November is sales everywhere online. Yeah,
so
it's really hard to say like how you can get good deals, because
just look,
like, let's say
everywhere.
if you have a certain budget, like for PC parts or whatever it is, you basically just have to like look every single day, and if you see a good deal on like a component or something you need, then you just buy it. But it's like, I don't even know that we can put a guide together, because all these sales they're like 1 day or 2 day things. It's just such a weird thing.
We pan Reddit a lot, but there's a Reddit, I don't even know what the Reddit is called, which is real dumb. There's like a PC sales Reddit. There's also like game sales Reddit, which is actually super good for this kind of stuff because so many people are posting to it at once.
Actually, in our atheism, they have a lot of good deals. I would check it out right now.
A lot of good deals on Enlightenment.
On
Euphoria.
Atheism approved video cards actually is a big
some great Mountain Dew review videos.
But
follow Slick Deals on Twitter. That's what I do, and then you get all that good shit.
RAM is really expensive.
You'll probably find good RAM deals. You will definitely.
Last year I got 16 gigs of G-Skill Sniper for like $60. Like, it was an incredible deal.
Yeah.
So look around for RAM, because it's been really high prices over the last few months. That's another good thing. But if you're looking for some PC parts, PC Part Picker proved that generally main components don't really go on sale too much. Like GPUs, motherboards, unless they're combos, they don't go on sale too much. And CPUs really don't drop too much on these days. But things like hard drives, RAM, cases.
I could go for some combos right now. Delicious.
Those.
What kind? Pizza ones? Are you about pizza
combos today?
Pizza is
pretzel
pizza
combos,
is the best one.
So those items will go on sale. So if you're looking for some of the components of your new computer, you should definitely pay attention during these, because you could save seriously hundreds, especially on SSDs and things like that. So
if we see anything amazing too, we'll tweet it out.
I've been tweeting stuff on KBMOD. I
have to upgrade my internet connection. That's really what I need to upgrade. That's really what's
get a Black Friday
I don't think Time Warner's doing Black Friday.
I need Time Warner to just.
Oh my God!
Stop
I didn't
sucking.
put this in. You've brought this up. I didn't put this in the document. And we've been going long on podcasts anyway, so fuck it.
You're talking about the combining of forces here?
Comcast and Charter Cable are proposing to buy Time Warner.
Will that help me?
Thanks.
God,
it will
help
probably help you. Comcast is better than Time Warner, which
it
is
will
hard to
absolutely
believe,
hurt you.
Yeah, it's going to hurt a lot of people, even though those two divide up territory like drug dealers. And they don't really
my internet
compete
can't get much worse than it is. So
I'm going to say it will
really
unequivocally hurt you and every consumer, because it means less competition, and it means they have to work less to get your business. So
it's
true.
It's a really bad thing overall.
If any of those mergers get approved, then I'm gonna move to Switzerland.
I think
Wow.
I've
really
had a better experience with Time Warner than I have with Comcast.
Well, Comcast support is notoriously horrible.
Really depends.
It's all varying shades of horrible. There is no such thing as good cable customer support.
Verizon's been okay for me.
That's not
Well,
cable.
FiOS is excellent because it's so spread out that I don't know. It's like they still have to compete, because everywhere you have FiOS, you still have Comcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like
when we had a guy come in, my guide. This is when I had cable. The guide on my TV stops working, like the overlay guide thing. So he comes in, could not figure it out. They replaced my ONT box, which was like a couple $1,000s. They replaced all the cabling, the cable box, and my modem, or my router. Yeah. They replaced all of it just because he was like, fuck it, we're going to scorched earth this thing. Like, he didn't even care. He was just cool. So I got all new equipment out of a very small problem, and then I canceled cable 2 months later. So they spent like $4K at my house, and then I canceled their service anyway. So
That's good. At least you got to fight back some way.
Did you send them an email with the butt mangled corgi?
I should have.
That's how you cancel. That's how you cancel your service the day after that. You just butt mangle.
Well, I
them.
kept their internet, which has been quite good. So I will say that. But yeah, that's bad. Hope it doesn't happen. But that's 3 cable companies coming together in an industry that does not need any more douchebaggery.
An oligopoly. That's what they call it.
Yeah, pretty
They're
much.
already like regional.
If that
monopolies
happens,
and
it'll
oligopolies.
essentially be Comcast, Mega Comcast, or whatever you're gonna call that. It'll be them, FiOS, and Google Fiber in the whole country, and like that's it.
Well, no, I mean they're
AT&T is not.
no, there are other smaller cable companies, but like they're going to be able to compete less and less because they can, you know, at that point Comcast will be able to buy anyone.
Yeah, so it's rough times out there. But moving on to probably the biggest story of this week, and we mentioned id a little bit earlier, but John Carmack has officially left id after 20-some years, maybe even 30 years there. Well, id probably hasn't existed for 30 years, but
Since the beginning.
John Carmack, yes, since the beginning, since Wolfenstein 3D. Carmack is
Commander Keen.
Commander
Like,
Keen.
since- yeah.
Was Keen
What a
pre 3D?
game.
Commander Keen.
It doesn't work when you buy it on Steam.
I'm
He
happy
is
for
left-
Carmack. Good for him.
Yeah, he's fully at Oculus Rift now, over at Oculus VR.
If you thought John Carmack was doing shit at id when he fucking split off to work with Oculus, you're dumb. Like,
He was definitely still working.
I think he's the type of guy.
Sure.
He's the type of guy where I think you could see him like going one day a week to id and being like, you know, sort of guiding the direction of their.
He was
you
a
know,
director,
their-
technical director. He wasn't an engineer anymore.
He still helps. He still helped program parts of that.
Yeah,
engine.
no,
built
like
Tech
absolutely.
5, like, that's all him.
He seems like the type of guy. I mean, because for the past few years he's been splitting time with his aerospace company. He seems like the type of guy that can compartmentalize very well, and like I could see him when he says I'm still going to be at id, like even though I'm doing this thing at Oculus, like I fully believe that. I believe that he could do Oculus and like do what he needs to do for id on the side. I don't think anyone else could, but like he seems like he could. But now I guess
now hold on.
obviously it is rough times right now.
Yeah. So I'm saying though, do you think he's bailing because of rough times, or do you think he is being
No, well, I mean, I think
pushed out?
I think
they'd be like, if you're not going to be full time.
No.
No. I definitely don't think he got pushed out. I think it probably his tweet was basically the announcement, and I think that's probably what sums it up. He just says, I wanted to remain a technical advisor for id, but it just didn't work out. Probably for the best, as the divided focus was challenging. I think that probably says everything, right? It's just hard. It's hard to do both of those things, and it clearly it is going in like a different direction, and has been probably than what Carmack wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't think he was. I think Rage was a huge part of this. If you want to go back,
probably
Rage not working properly on launch. Rage just not meeting expectations in any way at all.
If you remember when Rage came out and had all those driver problems and stuff, Carmack was actually tweeting a bunch, and you rarely ever see Carmack like sort of frenzy tweet or tweet about like things with id. He's always tweeting about sort of like conceptual programming stuff and and just sort of off the wall things. So you could kind of read into that and see that I think he probably wasn't happy with a lot of things, and the fact that that Todd Hollins had left last year. I mean, I think it is just a different company now than it was even a few years ago, and you have hardly anyone left from like the, I guess, old school days.
I really, truly, this may be like, not that I had much hope for it anyway, but I really have no hope that Doom 4 or any game they put out from now on.
Modern id has fucking really
hasn't worked out.
Game design. Like,
but I'm saying,
nothing to write home about it.
We talked about this before, but I mean, obviously, for the time, obviously, that the games came out when they were in their heyday. Sure, they were revolutionary because they were the first ones to do it. But they, like you said, they haven't developed past what they were doing way back then. They don't have
really
good game design. It's just
Quake 3 is really good. Doom 3 is all right, and since then it's just been.
Well, I think
their one game that's okay, I'd say, is Quake Live. Which, I mean, how much are you going to put towards that? Because it's just It's the same game.
Well, I've seen multiple stories that I think sum up sort of the recent history of id really well. Is that their engines and their technical piece, the piece that Carmack was always the brains of, those have always been stellar, and they've just they haven't had a game designer there for over a decade, like a game designer that can actually put together a compelling story and make a game worth buying on its own. And the only reason it is even really still around is through all the Quake engine licensing. There's no way that they're making enough money to support a studio that size off of game sales.
They should scrap Doom 4, which they apparently already did a few months ago, and just start doing what Epic does: make a really fucking good engine, and only do that.
But see, that's what doesn't make sense to me, is that they don't license that engine. ZeniMax owns them, and I guess they just use it on Bethesda titles and things like that. I don't get that strategy. Quake.
Yeah, but even Bethesda titles now, the big property obviously is Elder Scrolls, and that uses Unreal.
ESO is terrible, by the way.
That is what I've heard.
I think after.
Oh, really? That really ambitious game is not living up to expectations.
I just feel like it is kind of an aimless company right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't
know what they're doing.
Well, but even look like you're talking about Doom 3 being okay or all right, and I agree it wasn't a terrible game. But what is everything that it does? It's tech, right? When Doom 3 came out, it was a benchmark your system, see what you get onto.
Oh man, look at the lighting, man!
Right,
Whoa.
look at the lighting. Rage, same thing.
It was incredible.
The game wasn't good, but it looks amazing. But
Rage doesn't even look that good. That's the problem. It's Rage in every way failed. It's
their tech, and you're saying, Brandon, the fact that they're not licensing it, how many
that's what doesn't make sense to me. Is I think that's where they gained prominence, is through Quake, but then also through the fact that Quake was what every first person shooter was using for a while, and slowly Unreal just supplanted them, where now everything uses Unreal.
It's pretty much Call of Duty supporting id right now, because it's still paying Quake licenses for Call of Duty. So
I have to imagine that well has long since dried up.
You think?
I think so.
They still have to pay for it, I would assume.
I don't know, but I think
even if you heavily mod an engine, you still have to pay that license.
I don't know, but I think, especially given how much Call of Duty has modded away from original Quake engine, I'd be surprised if it was receiving anything substantial at this point in Call of Duty's life. And so you look at, I don't even know what revenue streams do they have. The last game they put out was Rage.
Wolfenstein licensing?
I guess.
For that new Wolfenstein
all
game?
37 people who pay for that every year?
Yeah, I would love to see them. I think we talked about this before, but I'd love to see them do more with Quake Live. I mean,
it's going standalone.
It is going standalone. I feel like they could make that game really awesome, but I bet they won't.
The company seemed aimless anyway. I think Carmack may have even been we don't even know what we're doing here anymore. He may not have said that to anyone there, but he was just you know what?
Maybe that.
Well, I feel like that's probably the message that comes across when you split your time between three companies. I think that's what the message is kind of being sent subliminally is, hey, I'm not going to spend all my time here because, what the fuck?
Well,
what are we doing?
Yeah, that could play into it. It's what technical leadership is there when the engine's already there, right? They have an engine, and they're not really putting out games.
They have no design to back the engine up with. They can't put it to good use.
Yeah, I think at this point in id's life, they don't need better technical leadership. They need people who actually know how to make good games. Yep. The engine's already there for them.
So Carmack going to Oculus, and it's maybe a good thing for Oculus because Valve
it's a great thing for Oculus. I think it's a huge shot in the arm for Oculus.
Well, it's a good thing for Oculus because Valve is coming to be some competition for Oculus Rift. Valve is going to reveal its virtual reality prototype during its dev days for SteamOS next year. I think it's in January. Valve is going to be unveiling its own VR stuff. We don't know if that means a headset. I would assume that's the best way to do VR. But maybe it is one of those full-on things. But Valve will be announcing...
It's going to be a Virtual Boy thing.
That'd be crazy.
On a stand.
But so they're going to be doing one. So now Oculus will have some, although Oculus was pushing to be better and better anyway with each of these test iterations. So Valve's going to be throwing some VR hardware out there. We'll see how that works. I would assume it's going to be some sort of like, you develop for SteamOS. Look, we've got this peripheral already. Why don't you develop for it as well? Though a lot of games are already developing for Oculus. So
yeah, I feel like it seems like it would be odd for Valve to try and directly compete with Oculus, given that they've already made a bunch of headway in kind of getting people to be interested in VR. It seems like, I mean, obviously Valve could do anything, but I think it would make more sense if Valve was to say, like, listen, let's partner with someone like Oculus, who's already working on making the hardware awesome, and let's figure out a way to make it easy to develop games that take advantage of that.
So it's saying the company's Steam Dev Days event scheduled for mid-January in Seattle schedules the tantalizing promise of there being a prototype which demonstrates what affordable virtual reality hardware will be capable of within a couple of years. So it's not going to be out for, till like 2016, if you're taking that as a timeline.
Yeah.
I don't know what affordable means. Does anyone know how much an Oculus dev kit is? 300, 400?
300, I believe.
Yeah, 300.
So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, I actually think it's a good thing for there to be a little bit of competition there. Although, again, Oculus is really trying to push their hardware as far as they can.
It's one of those things where I think once someone gets it right, you'll see other people copy it. But Oculus is putting in the hard work and like building up a name for themselves, and especially with Carmack behind them, like I think it's going to be one of those things where once the tech is there, you'll have other companies that try it, but Oculus is going to be like, that's the one you're going to want, right? Because that's going to be the one that's actually good.
Yeah. So speaking of more Valve news, and Blah was just playing some TF2, perhaps still playing, huge 2-part update for TF2. Valve's still going. What is in this update? Was it just man versus
It was mostly man versus machine.
I saw medic updates and got super excited because I love playing the medic, and then it was only in co-op, and I was really upset.
No, it's it's unfortunately, kind of unfortunately, people always want more multiplayer updates. But what people really, really, really want is new weapons, because new weapons, make the game fresh for like a week, and they're just not released nearly often enough for that to be satisfying. So this was only an MVM update, but on the flip side, this is kind of a good thing because MVM was almost completely dead. It's fun, and it was almost completely dead. The main downside to it is that you have to spend money if you want to play it and get rewards for it. It costs $1 per tour that you complete, per mission that you complete, which is kind of bullshit. But
that's kind of dumb. I didn't even know that.
You can play the free version, you just don't get any items in exchange. So if you want to play TF2 for free and you don't care about getting cosmetic items, then that's fine. You don't have to pay anything. So there is that. But if you're into the game and you want to be getting the rewards that are available, then you have to spend $1 per tour. So this new tour they released 2 maps for MVM update. One is supposed to be the medic's hometown in Germany called Rottenburg, which is pretty fun. It's a pretty fun map. It actually kind of feels like a little hamlet. It actually feels like a little town when you're running through it, and there's a lot of different routes for a lot of different streets that the bots can take to try to deliver the bomb. The other one is kind of a nightmare, but it's based on Manhattan. That one's just really stupidly hard. Everybody's having a lot of really hard times with the Manhattan maps. Rottenburg's a little bit easier for whatever reason, but it's a good update, and they've introduced some pretty interesting cosmetic items, but it's really nothing that's going to affect the game as a whole in any sort of long-term capacity.
Yeah. So there you go. I was so hoping those were actual medic updates. It sucks that I like playing that class too, because it's so awful to play a medic in a pub. It's like the worst thing ever.
It can be really, really, really annoying. There's a reason.
Just heal bad people into dying anyway.
Yep.
It's like, so that is it for the news that I have done this week. I have a little quick note on an Imager album that came out. If you want to see some 4K screenshots that actually look incredible, there's a whole album of them, like tons and tons of different games. The Mirror's Edge one was damn impressive to me for some reason. But there's like Remember Me, the Batman games, BioShock, FIFA, all kinds of stuff in 4K. If you want to see where we're going, I think this guy has some there's Metro Last Light in 4K, so I would assume he has a quad SLR
It looks really
setup.
shitty in my 1440 by 900 monitor, so I don't believe you.
But they look incredible, so you can check them out. I put the link in chat for people watching live. We'll throw it in the document as well. There's 60 screenshots in total. You can look at the uncompressed ones on the link at the top, but they're massive, as you would
recommend.
assume.
If you're on a data plan on your phone and you share it with your family,
you
you
probably
view them
don't
on
want to do. Yeah, 3200 by 1800
Jesus Christ.
screenshots.
God.
So that happened. New releases this week, almost nothing. Wolf Among Us Episode 2, which I really, 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 really want to come out, is supposed to come out by the end of this month. There's not much time left for that to occur, so I hope it appears during this week sometime. That game is awesome. Borderlands 2 somehow still has DLC, and it's coming out on Tuesday, so more DLC for Borderlands 2.
Oh my God,
great title.
If I hear about Borderlands 2 again.
The Horrible Hunger of the Ravenous Wattle Gobbler. It's a Thanksgiving DLC. I can't even.
I think I saw him stream some of this from their like community day.
Fucking Gearbox. God damn it. But also, this is the big one. On Thanksgiving, a day when we enjoy a lot of food here in America, Pro Farmer 2014 comes out Thursday.
Wow.
All right.
Suit up. I'm done.
Why is it called Pro Farmer?
Yeah, what makes a
Professional
a farmer
farmer.
a pro?
Okay, but no, I'm saying that if it was
I
called
don't
Professional Farmer 2014, that would make sense. But how do you go pro in farming?
You just
Is that-
you're able
earn
to
your
you have
living?
you have
Is
good
that
CS.
It is a
goods.
profession.
Is that
Yeah.
the counterbalance to Amateur
I think
Farmer?
most
Yeah, that
farmers are
Brandon is a good
professional
point. Why are
farmers.
you an amateur farmer?
You average around 200 CS crops per second per 20 minutes, and you win your lane matchups against the critters that try to take your crops, and you go pro. It's pretty.
There's a Plants vs. Zombies minigame. Pretty good. All right. So we're going to take a quick 1 minute break, we'll say, and we're going to pull Ches into this call, and we're going to talk some esports, so Blah is going to have nothing to say, except for maybe league stuff. We'll see.
I have shit to say about id. I haven't played an id game in like 10 years.
Nobody else has either.
Yeah. True.
So we're going to take a quick minute break, pull Ches into this call, and we're going to do our award for Best Esports Title of 2013.
All right, got that.
Amateur farmers for consoles. Yeah, the console release.
Gelbin Mekatork is the biggest
you only
piece
have
of
like
shit
a
card.
It is a garbage card.
I just summoned it with such a minion advantage, and he called in the Poultryizer and turned himself into a chicken.
Yep.
I'm
Happens
fucking-
every time.
Fucking amazed at what a fuckhead he is.
Gotta join you nerds.
Yeah.
Turn your
Nah,
camera
fuck
up,
you,
maybe you
thanks.
will.
Swag.
Yeah, cheers. Bud.
I played a guy with 4 legendaries in his deck today and beat him with just the common mage deck. I was like, get shit on, bro. I mean, I have the whole mage deck unlocked, but it wasn't really too different from what you start with. And this guy felt really bad by the end of the game. He pulled out Malagos and I killed it in like 2 cards. Just took 2 cards to kill it. He just stopped killing all my minions to summon shit. I don't understand what his problem is. But Farming Sim did come out on PS3. That's a good point in the chat. But it's no Pro Farmer 2014.
I could see that kind of game being the type I would want to play on the couch. Just like, you know what? Let me kick back, and I'm gonna be a farmer.
I can see that being a game I'd never want to play ever.
Your friends come
Play
over,
the
dude.
fuck
What's
out of
the
that
sick
game.
new game? I'm cultivating, bro.
awesome.
Dude, you're cultivating so hard, bro.
I think that's Cannabis Farmer 2014 would be
Cannabis.
Now that game I would play.
That
Game, if you
Strains
pre-order it,
are-
comes with a nice fucking, you know, comes with some nice hash.
The DLC is new strains.
broccoli.
New
broccoli.
strains.
Yeah, DLC new strains.
Some BC perp.
That blueberry Jamaican.
Yo, man. Yo, did you get the new DLC? Got the sick Egyptian goo. Like, check it.
Jeez.
Nick will be the voice for all their YouTube promotions too. Dude,
Just
got
every
this
single one that's just
great, dude.
yo, man. Like, check it out. Like, December 14th, 2013. You ready for this shit, man? Like, are you ready, dude? You gonna, dude, fucking hit this, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, cultivate this shit, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Let's get that hydroponics going, bro.
Oh my, did you guys ever, did you, like, I'm gonna tell you about this DLC first, but, like, I forgot to ask you, like, did anybody here watch Bubble Boy? Like,
So,
Alright,
are we back,
Yeah,
Brandon?
yeah.
All right. Last year, best esports, and esports is another one that we really can't limit to this year because those titles don't.
I'm excited for this category. I'm actually impassioned about it.
So, last year, Dota 2 won, barely. Dota 2 won because there were lots of games splitting. Actually, this is the reason we stopped doing voting because there were like 5 NA votes on this. People who just didn't know what to put. So. Dota 2 kind of won because of that. League finished second, and Street Fighter 4 finished third.
I can already scratch off like 45 games on this list right now.
But
did anybody?
dude, I just throw
did they
them in
keep the game that I put on? Oh my god, it's still on there. I'm removing it. I put Halo 4 on there as a joke, and it didn't get removed.
Fucking joke. I was like,
I thought it was gonna get removed.
wow.
So
Jesus, see how
not the
serious Nick Fenton
international.
takes
What was
the
it?
voting.
It would have been international 2 last year, but Dota 2 really, although it's been around for longer than last year, really hit the scene last year hard. But so our nominees are, we got throw that in there. We got StarCraft 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, CS:GO, which was not at all a part of this list.
Not even close.
Nope.
Smite, Quake, and again, I just make a list of stuff, you know, people can contribute. Nick Fenton contributed to Halo 4, we got rid of it.
All right.
There's really no qualifications to get into this. You just, like, write it down.
Yeah, this
Then
is
we
how
whittle it off.
I took this how Giant Bomb does it for those who didn't hear the first 2 awards. I like the way they do it. They bring a list of games. Theirs is much longer than ours. And they just whittle it down through discussion.
It's not about length, Dan.
Right.
It's about girth.
No,
It's about the girth of your
about
list.
stamina.
It's about the motion of the votings.
Yep.
So, CS:GO, Smite, Quake, Hearthstone, World of fucking Tanks.
God.
I put that
damn
on
it.
there.
Jesus.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Super Smash Brothers Get Mad, which I did not know was an addition of that game.
Melee. You have to say melee. It's important to say
Super
melee.
Smash Bros. Melee Get Mad, and TF2 also on this list.
I already know
So-
what's going to win, so I don't even know where we're
Do
having
you?
this discussion.
Do you
I
really?
really hope. Well, never
Do
mind.
you really?
I think so.
Okay,
Let's
so let's start at the top. StarCraft 2.
No.
What I think is consistently
No.
best produced.
Are we talking about? Okay, yeah. So what are the
Yeah, but see,
aspects?
yeah,
from
you
that?
could talk
I need to
about-
know what
yeah.
the rules are for this.
But that figures into our live stream award. But
I think-
I don't think StarCraft 2 as an esport has made any strides this year.
Yeah. What difference?
No, I don't think
that's true.
Has it made?
I would agree with you there.
Like
It's
I feel like they're kind of I guess stagnant would be the appropriate word, but not in a bad way. Like they haven't like
fine, but-
decreased their quality of, you know.
Another thing here is a game could have some great moments this year, which could influence. Which I can already see one of these is on there. But I would agree with you. I love watching StarCraft 2. I voted for it for best live stream game. But I don't think it's changed really at all. And I think they've actually been trying to think of ways to do that.
Well, they had the official
Also-
WCS stuff from Blizzard this year, so
Yeah.
there's like kind of better, kind of worse, depending on your viewpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you could say that.
I think they found what worked, but I don't think they're doing anything to attract new players or more viewers. That's
Yeah,
how I
it's-
feel about it.
Has there really been any? Maybe Fenton can help me with this. Has there been any like newcomers even on that scene this year?
StarCraft?
Not really.
Is it like the same?
No, they've just kind of like with the Heart of the Swarm, like the pros that kind of got spotlight. Like they just kind of changed rotation in terms of who adapted more. But like that's kind of just what happens when you have new content. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, Heart of the Swarm came out, obviously, which changed.
That's true.
Changed,
That's true.
Changed up pretty much everything about it. Still StarCraft, but a new expansion will obviously change things. I will say, through a new expansion, they maintained strength. I mean, it's not like the game fell flat on its face.
No, not at all.
That's with any balance, and well, I mean, that's you can argue about that if you're like super into the game, but like in general, balance was maintained throughout the game with adding new units and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I think this has to make it into our nominees.
I think,
I think it definitely gets the nominees, but I don't think it's even close to winning.
All right,
I agree.
Wow,
that's just how I feel about it.
Ches knows what's going to win too.
Hang
Ches and I
back.
are in the same mindset right here. I'm telling you.
All right, let's move on to what is probably the second best, well, not second, but second biggest, I meant to say, esport in the world, Dota 2.
Yeah.
Do you really need to say anything for this game? Like, look at the spectator
don't know
client,
that we
look at the international
Yeah,
three.
it has to make
The
sense.
International
tremendous
3
like-
is the best esports game or esports event of all time.
I think it was as well. I think I would say that was.
It was impressive. It was really impressive.
Not even
Again, that's
not
a
even just
huge
in terms of production though. Like just in terms of the games. The games were so good.
I will say this.
If we're going to
and
judge
someone-
that, then the next one better get nods because there's been some.
But it will. Someone,
I mean, we could talk about the final matches for League.
someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of
but
great matches.
did Brandon just fucking nominating it?
Yep. That's
Correct
I
me if I'm
agree with
wrong on
Brandon's
Dota,
doing.
though. As a weakness for Dota, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see like a lot of weekends where it was like huge Dota tournament this weekend.
That's
but
because there are weekends. There are tournaments basically every weekend. They're not as huge, but
there's no like
are
qualifier.
definitely-
There's no like.
I mean, there are for different tournaments. Yeah, there's tournaments basically every weekend.
I noticed
There's
that
Star
for
Ladder.
League.
There's
I noticed that for League a lot, and I noticed it for StarCraft.
Well, it's
a lot,
easier
but
to
I
notice for League because the numbers for League go up by like 100,000 for a
These
tournament.
fucking font changes, I want to die. Anyway.
No, but there's tons of tournaments going on in Dota like all the time.
So Dota 2, I don't know if we need to go into much more detail. It's massive. It's very, very well produced.
Yeah.
It's a nominee for sure. All right, League of Legends. Obviously,
You got to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Their spectator client is. I agree. Dota definitely wins for that because of their innovations with that. But as far as matches, the consistency of when the season's in full swing, like ESL right now. What else is going on? There's one right now in Cologne, and the matches are great. And you have internet, you have the American team, you have it's just so many. There's so many storylines in League if you follow it, and the matches are really good. The finals have been really good in most of these as well. Close games. I don't think you have the same.
I see more team loyalty in League of Legends than any other. Like people have their teams or their
team
players
loyalty, but
and
then just
others,
hate
esports.
everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, this is the closest approaching to like the illogical level of hatred that comes from like football teams.
Yeah, totally.
People are actually starting to see the larval stage of that in League of Legends.
You
Where
look
it's
at like
just,
TSM and
absurd.
CLG. It's like a perfect example of that. If you
exactly.
TSM, you cannot stand CLG.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's so crazy to me because I'm like not into any of these. Even StarCraft, which I watch a good amount of, even fighting games, which I watch a shitload of. I'm like not in that mindset about esports for some reason where it's like with like Penguins Flyers in the NHL, like fucking don't like the Flyers. But I can't get in that mindset.
Guess what,
for
Dan?
some
If you actually started watching MOBAs and playing MOBAs, you would be at that level.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, you're gonna care. I'm gonna make you care someday. I don't know how.
If it was 1v1, I would care more. That's a big thing for me. But all right. CS:GO, which won our best live stream game.
Yes.
Because of all the great strides they've made with spectating and viewing that game. We get hyped just watching, Ches or Scott stream it. You can get hyped just watching a pub. If someone gets a clutch or something like that. And they've done really well with, like, the grenade paths are the coolest thing ever. Sounds dumb, but it's like, it's so cool to be able to tell where that's going to go.
It's a lot of little things that they've done that I think amount up to making a first-person shooter a way better spectator experience. And I think a lot of the things that made it, our nominee and I guess consensus winner for best live stream game, a lot of that transfers over because that's allowed, like, the production value and tournaments and stuff to get that much better.
Agreed. Yeah. Like, I was watching a tournament last week, and, like, I was saying to my friend, we were on Skype, and I was like, Corey, do you remember watching, like, Source 1.6 back in the day, and, like, how far this, like, I'm just watching, I'm seeing
so crummy back then.
Yeah, but, like, I'm seeing these guys behind the wall, I'm seeing their health. It's like the anticipation that it builds with that kind of stuff. I know that stuff's been around before in other games, but, like, the way that it's done and the way that it's used for Source, like, for example, like with the X-ray, would be able to see where everyone is on the map. There was a part where it was a 5-man rush on Dust 2 from T-side coming along, right? And this guy set up at doors, headshot level with an M4, and he just flashed the entire team. And you're like, here we go. He's going to get an ace. Sure enough, 5 headshots straight off. And even though you knew that was coming, like, the building of the anticipation for that, like, it just makes it that much better. I don't know. So there's just so many things.
Like you can see when the confrontation is going to happen. So it's not just like you're spectating this guy, and there's always a little bit of lag when you're specking anyways. But now you're like, oh god, they're going to run into each other at the corners, and they both have knives out or some shit like that. Like you can see it coming, so everyone's like waiting for it to happen. Where instead of, but it's also nice when you get to see their point of view without the X-ray, because you kind of see what they're seeing as close as they can kind of represent it. But the X-ray, I think, builds, like, it's a good build up to those things happening.
Like
that's one of those moments where you can cringe too. You can go, oh no, this guy is walking into the worst situation ever.
The teleprompter stuff where you can draw on the mini, like you bring up the map and then they can draw on top of it. I don't know if you've seen that. That's sick. Yep. So I don't know. I just think this one is
easy choice.
Very strong contender to win.
All right, so the rest of these, although one of them is going to be kind of weird when we get to it, but the rest of these are all good spectator views. But maybe some of these will be very moment specific, I think, and also at the mercy of popularity in some cases.
One of them is a sure shot from me, and it's not the one you think.
So
we should go on a commercial break after that one.
I think
we should have. That was TV right there. That was fucking tease. That was professional.
I'm gonna fight for Smite. Fight for Smite.
Fight for Smite. Hashtag.
No, I think I haven't been like super into Smite until I started pretty much towards the beginning of this year, getting into it more. But like since I started getting into it, like I've been seeing so many like teams and stuff getting into it. Like you have teams, like you have names of teams and their players and stuff like that. Like I had never heard about that stuff like a year ago, and so I think like their spectator stuff. All that, it's all good, and I like it. So I'm putting in the good word.
Strong case you just made there.
I'll fight for Smite a little bit for this category because while I don't think it was it's necessarily worthy of our best live stream award. I think when you talk about like tournaments.
Growth of
perspective,
competitive Smite has
does it get a nod just for challenging the monsters that are Dota 2?
I think
definitely get a nod.
I don't think it's even a matter of going up against like League of Legends or Dota 2. I think just the competitive community in Smite has grown a lot.
I think you have to give some credit to the fact that they've sort of brute forced the fact that they wanted it to be competitive. They wanted it to be like they wanted to try and build that community.
They've had their own tournaments every weekend, stuff like that.
Yeah, they've actually done a pretty good job of it, and
they showcase with Twitch at the PAXs.
Which
is great.
They've done some cool stuff, and I mean, whether you like it as much as Dota or League, I think they have pushed it to be an esport, which a lot is way more than most other games can say.
Yeah. They've I think their push. They tried it with Tribes and it didn't really work.
Yeah.
But they tried it with Smite and the push has worked and they've kept at it and that's a good thing. Anything that isn't normal MOBAs or trying to challenge that convention a bit is a good thing. And Hi-Rez, again, the push has been behind it, and they've stayed with it, and their commitment to it is obvious. So that's always a good thing to see.
All right, yeah. Let's
maybe it'll suffer. Maybe it'll get a better fate than Tribes did. Rip.
Smite is like the younger brother of Tribes that wasn't battered, beaten, neglected, or abandoned by its parent.
That's a quote.
Thank you. Thank you for that one, chat.
So this next game, perhaps the birth of esports can be credited to this franchise, but it has seen better days. It is insane to watch, though, if you've never watched high-level Quake. Try it sometime. You may enjoy it. It's just so ridiculously fast, though, that sometimes I don't even know what I'm seeing because they're so good at anticipating the map. But those guys, next to StarCraft players, to me, pro Quake players are just on another level skill-wise. And I think that has to count for something in this.
I mean, if you watched QuakeCon,
Quake absolutely gets a nod.
If you watched QuakeCon this year, it was unbelievable. I don't think they're doing much with it. All the stuff that's being done with it right now is all community stuff, like Face It and a couple other organizations like trying to keep Quake alive. But man, when Quake is good, it's good.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. The map knowledge on that and the speed at which you must move around and anticipate. Like, when they go through teleporters and fire immediately because they just know. Like, I'm just like... Because they just anticipate exactly where a guy's going to land off a ledge and go through I mean, it's unbelievable.
Pretty insane.
But there's also been almost nothing. Like, there's just almost nothing here.
That's a big strike.
That's the thing that I mean. As much as I want to put it on this list because I love Quake, and I think if we're just talking about like best esports title of all time, Quake would be an immediate nod. But best esports title for this year,
you have to consider it.
As
like,
much as I hate
within the time frame.
As much as I hate saying it, like I don't think it can get a nod for this year. Because it's
Again,
it's like you said, it's moment dependent, and the moments are amazing. But there's not like there's not a Quake esports scene. It's the same people that have always been in the Quake esports scene. They just happen to still be around.
Yeah, and I think that's a strike against it for this award. We're not. John says immediately on it, but I just think you can't ignore this year in 2013. The tournament
QuakeCon was one of the best events of the year, so it's kind of.
But the scene itself is.
I agree with you. I don't think that's enough to put you in this category against these other nominees. I want it to be there, but I don't think it is doing enough. Like, I don't think there's enough support for the game that we're seeing from all these other companies. We're not seeing those improvements made to Quake Live, and they could be there.
I think they could be. Like, if id was pushing it, it would be CS:GO type thing. Like, where, oh, look at what id's doing for this game that's super old but still has a real hardcore following, and they're still making like improvements and trying to push this tournament scene. But they're not. They do QuakeCon and really everything else, as you said. Pretty much
like
community
QuakeCon,
events.
And then there's DreamHack, but there's just not. I don't think there's enough.
It.
Did DreamHack drop it? I actually didn't see that.
That's another strike then there. I don't think it makes
all they've really done with Quake Live. We'll see. I think if they push to the standalone client next year and can actually
that could
do
be a
something
big
with it, that could be a big deal. But I just don't see. I see them just sort of leaving it in its current state, and you'll see a Quake Live patch every now and then, but it's not changing anything. It's not really making the game better. It's not making the spectating experience better.
I'm being told DreamHack Winter has Quake.
Yeah, DreamHack Winter does have it.
So I just don't think this can make a final list. Like, of the against what's up there already. Like, it's clearly, I don't know. So this next one's relatively new. It's not going to make it, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. Hearthstone, which was incredibly fun to watch.
I think it's our dark horse for next year.
Yeah,
they need to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, because there needs to be a way, and I don't know that there's a good way to do it, where you could see both hands and then also some data on what can kill what on the table, and like... Because in StarCraft, you get like supply.
Yeah, you can pull down stats for everything.
It's all about the peripheral information.
Yeah, and even though Hearthstone is relatively simple to learn, seeing the possibilities on the board, it would be a good thing to know what they could possibly do the next turn. So, and there's only been one tournament so far, but yeah, Dark Horse for next year. I'll keep an eye on it. Magic the Gathering is like decently big on Twitch whenever there's a big tournament.
You see it up there every once in a while.
Yeah, so card games can work, and Blizzard's got the money.
Along with chess sometimes on Twitch. Every blue moon you see chess.
Chess is so good.
Chess Network is like the best fucking channel ever.
So this next one, all right. Now I know for a fact that no one here is a fan of this game, nor would I expect you to be. To be honest, I'm not.
Is this on PC?
I've seen this shit live. World of Tanks?
Oh no, I thought. Oh no, I'm looking at the next one. Whoops, I'm sorry.
No, but eSports. Wow, Scott is really mad.
No, well, I thought. Well, what? Why was our live stream one? Why is our other categories restricted to PC? Like
GTA 5 was on that
because you watch all these on your PC.
What?
Yeah, it was.
No, was it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were restricting to PC games. I thought that was the thing.
Like Game of the Year is restricted. Yes. Oh. These I can't restrict something like this. Like I just can't.
You can, but you would be an asshole.
Like it's not.
Don't do that.
Not as,
there's no.
Although consoles, really, those two are the only. Like PC is mostly where esports are, so it works. Where's COD Ghosts at?
Yeah, COD Ghosts is that on the list?
Black Ops 2 actually had tons of esports support, but then
it did.
Yeah,
doesn't matter because that game's not going to win. It's trash.
World of Tanks. Okay, this is interesting because it is massive, actually. In Russia and Europe, I was at a live World of Tanks event.
Oh, a lot of us were. Yeah, I was there.
But were we there consciously?
No,
it was news to me. We got hype as fuck. We sat.
Yeah, we went and sat down. We went and sat down for like 20-30 minutes. We watched it.
We sat down close to the front too. We didn't even know. Yeah, me and Nick.
Our call-outs were like, "That little tank is hiding behind a pile of dirt."
Yeah. Oh, John's camera was in a really good position. He looks really distraught.
People were like standing up and cheering and shit, and me and Nick were sitting in the chairs like, I don't know what just happened. Like there's 12 monitors in front of me. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
They're all like hiding for like 4 minutes.
It's some interesting stuff about World of Tanks that I never knew. Like when you're in close quarters with the tank, like you body block with your tanks to like prevent them from shooting. Because if they hit your tank when you're really close, you're going to take damage too. So I thought that was interesting, like learning that stuff, like at
also the sniping.
Yeah, like
essentially the sniping that goes on in that game. So if you've never watched World of Tanks, the first like 5 minutes of the game is seriously just getting your tanks into position.
Yeah, it's just staging. Everyone rushes their spot and sit there.
Yeah, and then you hope that you don't peek at the wrong time. So like in a way, like the sniping that goes on, these are fucking tanks, but the sniping, because you get hit for so much. When you get hit, especially if you're one of the little light tanks, there's different types of tanks. I learned all this in one event. So if you peek out at the wrong time, you're fucking dead. And but on the other hand, a huge problem for World of Tanks, despite how big it is, it's huge. It really, really is huge. It's a 12-man team or something like that. Some crazy number, which is not sustainable in esports.
It was 2 full rows of fucking players for each team on the stage.
Like,
it was pretty insane.
Because what's a league team? 5 or 6? 7?
Five.
No, I'm saying... No, I said a team, as in do you have alternates?
You might have one alternate.
Yeah, I think they have like one sub.
That's what I mean when I say that.
They got like the manager and shit.
I'm saying, what are you paying for? If you run a league team,
you're paying for 5 players.
You're paying for 6 players? Or
5, probably.
Right.
So...
I don't think we can...
12 or something like that for
I don't think
How
we
can
in good conscience...
When you look at the other,
because we don't understand it. Like I don't think any of us have enough understanding of this game.
Right, but that goes back to the accessibility of the game. When you look at things like Dota, when you look at things like League, like I don't know, I've watched some World of Tanks, but I still like it's good to learn all those facts.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's not. There's no like the spectator client is a fucking free cam.
World of Tanks teams are 7 players. I'm being told in chat by a lot of people. Yeah, Respect is super angry because he's really into World of Tanks. So. But anyway,
you brought up a good point. Like, you can't just hop on to Twitch and watch that and like know what the fuck is generating. I mean, tanks are shooting at tanks. I get that, but it's not exciting. Like,
to be fair,
I played like 2 hours of
Twitch and
StarCraft.
watch Dota for the first time and know what's happening.
That's
like
that's not the only reason.
I think that's legit. But with Dota, I think we're giving it. It's here for other reasons, right?
It has more reasons to be in the spot. Like, it's hard to put World of Tanks in that spot.
I think World of Tanks feels similar to Smite for me, whereas like I think it's got a lot of publisher support. Like they're trying to make it an esport, and I'm just it's hard for me to. I just don't understand it enough to really talk intelligently about it. But I don't feel like it's got an easy spectator experience for a newcomer.
I'd agree.
K9 just slayed me. I just can't.
Yeah, that was a great.
I just can't.
Great.
World of no thanks.
World of no thanks. Now, here's the problem with World of Tanks. I can watch StarCraft with no idea what's going on and get hype. I can't watch.
Is like fucking boring. If
I
you
can't
don't know
watch.
I don't know. I kind of got hyped when I was watching it, though.
God,
like,
there's just
when shit was
the drink.
Just mentality. Everybody else is getting.
I had one drink at that point, but like when shit was going down, it was kind of exciting, even though I didn't know what was happening. Like it was kind of fun to watch.
The game kind of looks like shit.
That's because it's old. It's because it's old.
And
it doesn't kind of. It does.
It's very bland. It's
regardless.
Not a whole lot going on. It's a lot of waiting around corners, which is kind of tense, but at the same time, like I just don't think it has that broad market appeal that you need in a top spectator game.
They don't need to get into. They don't have to get into sports. They're trying to get into esports because, like, it's cool to have your game in esports, but they have enough people that that game is so fucking profitable. It's the most profitable free to play in the world. So.
Wargaming is just making money.
Yeah.
I think too those matches. I mean, how long are some of those matches? I feel like there is no.
They escalate super quickly.
Well, no, I know they do, but I'm saying I don't think there is enough action in the game to say that it's a great esports title when you consider the titles that we have here already.
Well, that's what I was kind of going off of. Like Nick said, nobody watches their Dota game and like knows what the hell is going on right away. But at the same time, in a Dota game, you don't wait like 6 minutes, 7 minutes before a first shot is fired. Like there's action on the screen, and whether you fucking know what he's casting or what the hell he's doing, it doesn't matter because it's interesting. Somebody might die. So that's kind of what I was hitting at, is that there's just a lot of stalemate, nothing happening. That like people will tune into the stream for 30 seconds, give it a chance, and be like, "Fuck this is boring as fuck," and just leave. That's kind of what I was hitting at.
Yep. I don't think
it makes it.
Yep. I don't think so.
It only has like one American team, by the way. It was the team that we watched.
Well, then they're fucking terrorists.
So we wouldn't have that much experience. No, I'm just saying we wouldn't see it that much.
This is one of those games where I expect us to get like a 5-paragraph email from someone detailing out why we're all wrong.
I don't care because Navi has a team. So I mean, and Dendy wasn't there, so they fucked up.
They won. They won, didn't they?
Navi won? They're at the event?
I don't know. I was at that point,
Yeah.
So this next game isn't going to make it probably, but Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I feel like both of these fall into the same kind of category. It's like
it's niche.
It's definitely niche.
But it had maybe the greatest esports moment of the entire year at EVO this year. But that Justin Wong comeback, but that's a moment. That's not the game all the time.
But even moments aside, I feel like overall it's a very strong spectator sport.
It's the biggest draw in fighting games, period.
It's huge. It's
even more than Street Fighter.
It's way more exciting to watch than Street Fighter. It's a very flashy game. The whole experience, like EVO did it big this year, and I mean they get bigger every year. It was overall a great experience. I'm not really big on watching spectator esports, but I watched pretty much all of Ultimate Marvel this year.
Well, actually, we can't vote for either of these two games because they don't like being categorized as esports because we sniff our own farts.
Yep.
That's very true.
Let's jerk off fucking sports.
The fighting game community would be so mad that this is even on.
Yeah, so exactly. So we should just appeal their wishes and nuke both of these and then vote on the rest. How about that?
Well, can you tell me? So our last two titles here are Marvel and Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I think are both driven from moments. Like
Melee is driven entirely by that community. It's like Quake at the moment.
Yeah, Melee. It's old. It's still around. People are still playing it, and it's definitely not like a moments game. Unlike you can make
as someone who could not care less about Super Smash Brothers and was getting excited for that at EVO this year, and ended up really enjoying watching it. I don't think I can agree with that.
Well,
but I don't know. I'm interested though.
Like
I'm interested
Melee
though.
Is more about the community and player drama. Like that's what I get.
It is very much about that. To be fair, it has a lot of those characters. If you've ever met Mewtwo King, you wouldn't even believe he's like actually a person. You would be like,
it's a robot.
You would think somebody's playing a joke on you when you met him. Like he's a weird fucking dude.
Oh shit! There's a really good Melee documentary on YouTube right now. It's 10 episodes long and it's really good. I will find it. So talk about.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. This is an indicator. Like a bunch of people, like fucking Melee, man, Mango at Evo, like all these people. Melee somehow. It's like, how old is that game now? It's for GameCube.
It's 12 years old.
Yeah, it's 12 years old. It's still getting support like this. This is the first year Evo added it, and they got like 700 participants year one. Something like crazy.
Concurrent viewers watching the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually beat everything that wasn't Marvel and Street Fighter at EVO, concurrent-wise.
So if you were going to vote for one of these, why would you vote for one and not the other? They feel very similar to me in terms of like why you would vote for them as best esports title.
I would vote for Marvel over Smash Brothers. A, because I like the game more. B, because Marvel consistently, if there is a tournament on a weekend, you're not going to see a Smash Brothers tournament. You might not even see it streamed. You're going to see Marvel draw like 20 to 30K concurrent as long as major participants are involved in the tournament. It's always going to have that draw.
I would like to argue that I only really put Smash Brothers on this list because I just saw somebody, Cosmo speedrun, something along those lines, break down why people still play it today and why it's actually a very competitive game, and I'm kind of hyped about it, and I just think it's... I just think it was a cool look at why people actually like that game.
I just think that game falls into Quake, but on a much larger scale. Actually, it's probably a bigger game than Quake at this point. But like that community is so hardcore about their game.
Yeah.
Like they were the ones who got it into EVO, and then it ended up being the third most watched game after the two obvious ones, the two showcases of fighting games, Marvel and Street Fighter. And then it was Smash Brothers. Not any of these other fighting games even came remotely close to the numbers that Smash Brothers put up. So there is those arguments for it. I just think Marvel, on a more consistent basis, is being watched, and there are more competitors at a high level at this point. And you have the best fighting game players in the world playing Marvel. Also Justin Wong at EVO.
That is the best thing Aeon has ever said. Let's be real. The fighting community is to esports. To esports is our atheism to Reddit.
It kind of is
absolutely true.
It is funny to have them on this list because they would hate.
They would be very upset.
They would be really.
It's too mainstream to be esports. It's too not mainstream, but too supposed to be too underground, too indie to be esports.
Because they're from
the corporate
in the
man
when
can't bring down.
We didn't have all these fucking online and live streams. They detest the idea of live streams. I don't know.
For me, I feel like both of these kind of fall into the Quake category for me. That the moments that are like, it has some of the best moments, but on a consistent basis, like I don't think either of these can hang with the other contenders we've selected.
I would agree. I don't want to because I'd rather watch Marvel than anything else on this list.
Well, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough, but we got to talk about Melee on the podcast, and more people need to know about this game because it's still going and it's fucking amazing.
So
I think the fact that they made this list is more of a testament to like what one great tournament can do for your game in a year.
Yeah, and let me just point out that for the FGC, we stopped a PC gaming podcast in its tracks that we do every week for like 2.5 years. We stopped it to watch Justin Wong play Marvel.
And
come back on
don't say we. Don't say we.
We didn't start.
You know why fighting games suck? Because a blind man such as myself can defeat a man with fully capable eyes. That's how you know these games take no skill. No fucking skill.
Or it actually proves the point that I just have no skill at all. That's what it really
there is no skill involved in fighting games, period. Get them off this fucking list.
There's so much skill involved. I'm just a really awful person.
No skill whatsoever.
Let me just end this. Let me just end this before we talk about the finals. Ches lost in the first year of Extra Life to a blind man.
Yeah.
The second year, he lost to a man who had been up for 40 hours. So
I ran it back to 2, though. I ran it back.
And you lost that, too. You lost twice, too.
I'm okay with losing twice, too.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so our finalists, our nominees. StarCraft 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, CSGO, and Smite.
Well,
make your arguments, gentlemen.
Smite's not going to win, so get rid of that.
Smash Brothers Melee.
Wow.
Smite's not winning.
I would agree with him.
I'd agree as well.
Let's go by what's not going to win, so we can just do this quickly. Smite's not winning. StarCraft 2's not winning.
League, Dota.
I'd say those are the three bigger ones.
Yeah, League.
StarCraft 2 in 2013 doesn't have a chance to win in 2012.
No, not in 2013.
But
I'm between League of Legends, which is the one I actually watch, versus Dota 2, which just has much better spectator client innovations and is probably more balanced overall.
If we're gonna compare the two big tournaments between League and Dota, like, you can't even compare. Like the League of Legends final.
Dota can't have one big tournament. League has. See, you have to talk about consistency though with this.
Dota. I said Dota has tournaments every weekend. Dota has tournaments every fucking
really?
weekend.
Do they? What is the viewership?
They do.
What's the viewership like then? Because every time I go to the page,
oh my god! If it was about viewership, then fucking why did we even put Quake in here? Like,
it's not about viewership.
That's not even an argument.
You got a point.
That's not even a fucking argument.
It is an argument though.
It's going to be between.
I think we can say like the viewership for all of these. Well, not Smite necessarily, but it's all like the max viewership you'll see for like the premier tournaments is pretty close, like relative to the game.
CSGO
that's what I'm saying.
CSGO
relative to the
CSGO has peaked at 100K.
Yeah, relative to the size of the game, like, and the player base, they're all pretty close. Right. I don't think that should sway anyone's opinion.
So did we eliminate Smite?
Yes.
Yes, we did. Okay. All right, and we eliminated StarCraft 2 because it hasn't innovated anywhere. It's the same.
I think it could be better I think it could be better like the next WCS season, but I think
this was the first one of those trying that out, right? That format.
Yeah, and I think like there were some cool things, but I think they did a lot of things that I think in some ways kind of hurt StarCraft potentially.
Let me fight against CSGO really quickly, as much as I want it to win, because it's an FPS game. I care more about that than I do about MOBAs. CSGO, I just don't think is quite... I think what you'll see is next year it could win this, but I don't think it can this year. I think it's a good solid third place, though.
Yeah, I have to agree. I fucking hate you, but
I don't think it can compete
between these two. Yeah,
I think juggernauts.
Yeah. No, it cannot. It is in a completely different league right now. But
call me when it's got a $2 million tournament.
Yeah, I think they took steps in the right direction this year. I think they're really kind of building a solid shit for next year.
$150,000 tournament.
Yeah,
250K is
that just started. That just came about. So, like, I don't think it's even had time to grow to its potential yet. Because a lot of people were shying away from it for the longest time, and now they've really taken strides, like, with the packages and shit. Like, the prize pool is going to get larger. There's going to be more teams entering. It's going to get more exciting. But I'd agree this year, it's not even in, the juggernaut.
I want it to
All I know is, like, 2 weeks ago, I just laid in bed pretty much all weekend and watched CSGO.
Yep.
Oh, it's so great to watch.
I mean, but I do kind of agree. I think there's more room for CS:GO to grow, and I think CS:GO winning best live stream game was completely correct. I think when we talk about actual best esports title, I think it's getting there, but it's really hard to say that it's that it beats out Dota 2 or League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
So, here's where we're at. We're at Dota 2. We're at League of Legends. The two biggest games in the world, arguably. With Dota having 600,000 concurrent players fucking every day. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And League, of course, renting out sports arenas for its final championship, which I don't think you can discount how massive that is. For me, and then I will stop saying things because I don't know that much about MOBAs. For me, the International is the best produced esport events that I've ever seen, period. It was like watching a TV sports broadcast, and I mean that in a totally positive way. I don't... For me, that pushes it over the top because as a guy who doesn't know what's going on, I had more fun watching that than I ever have out trying to watch a league tournament. But
I agree.
That's for me.
But the thing about Dota that puts it over the edge for me is that there's far more community-created tournament stuff, whereas League of Legends, like the top players are not participating in anything outside of LCS. So you're only getting this certain taste of content, which is exactly what the developers want it to be, rather than seeing all of this awesome community-created stuff like we see with Starladder or some of the BTS stuff or the Alienware Arena Cup that we just had like
Raid
5 months
calls
ago.
and Nexons.
That's what puts Dota over the top for me, is that there's so much community-created content.
I just remembered first MLG tournament was today. First MLG appearance for Dota 2 at Columbus.
How'd that do?
Nobody knew, though, because it was being streamed on MLG's site.
Yeah. There was
MLG.TV. Awesome.
I was going to vote League because I feel it's more established. You have more of this, like I said before, team loyalty and things like that. Everybody has their favorite players and whatnot. They have a lot more. Everything's so well established, right? Dota needs some time to pick up and get running because League's been around much longer. But I think what John said brought me over to Dota. Just the fact that there's a lot more unofficial stuff going on. You can't really argue that it's better if you have official stuff and player-made content going on versus just the LCS,
right? But
which is kind of boring.
Right, LCS is obviously it's created. I mean, that's a huge deal for Riot to make a league, obviously for their game, put the kind of money they put into it, pay these players professionally. Talk about furthering esports as a thing. Having a really well-produced tournament for Dota 2 is great, but that's not like that's okay. Sure, it's a huge prize pot, but that's not a consistent job for these guys. Like, I'm sure if you win enough tournaments, maybe at the top, you could pay for it. But you can't discount like the LCS. That's fucking huge for esports. That's like legitimizing all these guys' jobs. So I think saying that one really well-produced tournament that Dota has, like the international, like, yeah, I agree, that's really good.
It's not the one really well-produced. It's the amount of content that we're getting. We're getting significantly more varying content out of Dota. Like League of Legends, sure, they pay their players salaries. That's great. How the fuck does that affect me? What does them paying professional players do for me?
I'm not discrediting LCS
I just don't see the content difference that you're talking about. Are you talking about in tournaments, that they play other tournaments? Is that what you're talking about? I don't understand.
There's dozens of tournaments all the time, produced by different people all the time.
I think it's
almost with League of Legends, I just get LCS. That's all I get.
But the thing is,
it's hard for me this weekend.
It's hard for me to even pick one of these because they're so different, and I think deserve to win for different reasons. Because I think John.
Brandon, stop being non-committal.
No, I'm just. I'm trying to help summarize the conversation for our listeners and viewers. I think John makes a really good point that Dota would be self-sustaining if Valve didn't produce the international. Like, I think Dota 2 would still be on this list for all the same reasons, because they're doing a lot of really great community stuff. The client is really cool, spectating client, all of that. I think League of Legends, on the other hand, yes, everything is pretty much run by Riot now, but that is what is legitimizing League as a professional career, because they're paying the players that get into that league, and that tournament schedule is consistent. There might not be other tournaments, but you have the LCS every single week, 3 days.
Like, you want to make something like football, like, that's what you have to do, and Riot is doing that. And the other thing too is someone's like, well, these other players get paid salaries. They're talking about Dota. Yeah, they're not getting paid salaries by Riot. They're getting paid by their organization. That's different. That's totally different. So anyway, I I agree. I think it's close.
The salary thing doesn't weigh on the decision at all. Like that doesn't affect anything for anybody outside of the players, really.
Well, but it's
enabling them to be able to do
best esports title. I think that does play into it.
Yeah, it has to.
It doesn't change the way that I look at it just because players are getting paid. Like that doesn't matter at all.
Well,
if we're talking about the most legitimate esport, then yeah, League wins. What has the best overall content right now is the question.
Yeah, it might be two different. I'm trying to
League is
like
far
League is
away.
by far the most legitimized. Like there's nothing even close to it. But what does that really mean? Does that mean it's the best? Because the best fucking the best sport. The best sport is football. Do I give a shit about football? No, don't care.
I really want to vote League because that's the one I watch, but there's some really good arguments for Dota. It's just
it's a good thing that we have an uneven amount of people on the podcast right now, so we don't have to end at a tie like we did last week.
I voted for CS:GO. Now you guys get.
We didn't tie it. Wait, what was last week best? Yeah, last week was best graphics, right?
Yeah, we tied Crisis 3.
Yeah, that's when we tied on.
Are we?
Are we voting now?
I don't know, man. Scott brings up a good point about League kind of really solidifying.
Forget the salary. Forget whatever. Just
I feel like we have to end with
I think they're paving the way. They're paving the way for these
end with
titles.
Brandon because he's been so like mystique about his choice.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking.
So
Brandon, what's your choice?
No, he's last. He's the
fine.
The deal breaker. Okay, because I think right now, what it appears to be is we're even. Because I'm Dota 2.
Yeah.
Scott,
I'm League.
I'm Dota.
Okay, let's do for Dota. Nick Jenkins.
I'm Dota.
John is Dota.
I'm really on the fence. I'm so on the I'm so on the fence that I'm going to vote League of Legends because it's the one out of the two I actually watch.
Thank you.
And I actually care about the teams in.
All right.
Jez.
That's a good enough reason, man.
God damn it. I don't know, man. There's been so first off, there's been a lot of good points for both.
Oh my god!
Honestly,
no, I don't care, Chess. But
I know that, but I'm just.
I don't have time to be sitting around. It's 9:30.
Yeah, the one that I enjoyed the most, I'm leaning. I think it's Dota.
Bang.
Super Smash Brothers Melee. Fuck y'all.
No,
we're tied.
That's
great.
That's me, Dan, John, and Ches. That's four.
Oh yeah. Dota 2 has won.
Brandon, for what it's worth, what were you going to vote?
I think I'd probably vote League because I think Riot's
doesn't matter
content.
What you guys vote. So
I think Riot's content and like the overlays and everything, the stats. I think they do a great job with.
Cool.
But
Dota's over here. We're sitting on our 2.8 mil prize pool.
I have no problem with Dota 2 winning.
Yeah, I'm still fine with it winning. I think it should be dual award. I don't think you can. I think it's too close. I think you.
No, I think we won.
4-3 vote.
No,
it's pretty.
I think
vote is
Scott. That would be like saying that we both won the build race at Newegg. I don't think
that's true.
This is
everybody. There are no losers. Everybody gets a trophy at the end of the season.
So
God.
There you go. Best esports title of 2013, Dota 2, with the usual suspects hanging around. With CS:GO as a new entrant this year, and much more legitimate than last year's award for this, in my opinion, because we had so many people not vote last year.
What won last year? Was that Dota again?
Dota 2.
Yeah.
League of Legends was second again by 1 vote.
Wow.
So.
League, you gotta step it up. You gotta encourage some community members. If League had smaller tournaments that were being run and we're still getting a lot of exposure,
they do though. I just don't think they do.
They don't get a lot of exposure.
Yeah,
there are amateur tournaments.
Scott, they have the tournaments, but they're not the top players. That's the problem with it. Like the top teams in Dota.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So you're saying in Dota the top teams will play the shitty tournaments, is what you're saying.
They'll play in everything. So you're always getting the top caliber of play when you're watching Dota tournaments. Whereas with League of Legends, you're just not.
I can see that argument.
That's the kind of shit you see in the fighting game community. Is that it's easier because it's players, not just entire teams. But it's much easier to move a single player. But they will fly all over the country, just going tournament to tournament. Whenever a tournament's in town, you'll see Justin Long there, as long as it's reasonably large.
No, that's about. I didn't see what you're saying. Okay, I know. I understand what you're saying. I agree.
It's like
you're
that.
right.
All right.
The amateur league tournaments are generally like the farm teams and not as much.
Exactly.
All right.
And terrible commentary as well.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and then we will.
Your question, John. If you got to go, you can
then
go.
we will return with the
They've been running long with the
Twitter
round table, so no.
questions.
Your boy's gonna take a piss.
I feel like we're gonna have a long podcast until the end of the year.
Well,
Game of the year, we're just not
these
going to
go on for like an hour
We're just
because
gonna-
they should, because we should.
Then-
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
good.
good.
It's
That's
good
what I
discussion.
want.
It's really good discussion.
Giant Bomb's Game of the Year podcasts
Oh, it's like 5
are
fucking
they're like
hours.
5 hours, and there's like 10 of them.
Yeah, it goes on for like a month.
What I'm
Like,
really
it'll
hoping
start-
is next year we can have this conversation about Heroes of the Storm being in there as well.
I don't.
Well, it'll be interesting with next year. You're going to be interesting with Watch Dogs. You're going to have a lot of new IP next year, which is going to make things interesting for all the awards. I mean,
John, are
not
you
just
talking
you.
about in terms of
For
an
all the
esport
awards.
or just in general? Part of the Swarm
Just
being
in
good?
general, I'm like one of the top games of the year. Like
I don't know,
I'm
like,
really
do you
hoping
think
that
they're
going to
push for Heart of the Swarm as an esport? Do you? I mean,
Heroes of the Storm? No,
obviously-
I'm saying for Game of the Year. Like I'm really
No, but
most
I'm like, I'm
excited
just
about that.
throwing that out there. Does anybody feel like that's? It seems like they're kind of like trying
I
to
think
toe the line between.
they'll definitely
They'll
try
dip
and put
their
in
toes in and see.
They'll
Yeah.
put in a league system. I mean, they already have like
Yeah,
they
I
have
don't think they
StarCraft's
wouldn't.
league system, so they might as well.
Because like it
So-
seems like they're trying to toe a line between something that can be really strategy based, but can also be really approachable. But it's also objective based, so I don't know how that would work.
Like, I just think next year's going to be a much more interesting time for these. Like, we had some usual suspects that I'm sure will be in the discussion this year. BioShock Infinite, of course, be up for some stuff. Already talked about it in the graphics.
I'm excited
But next year
for
you
some
got
story stuff. Yeah, I want that.
new IP next year. Watch Dogs, The Crew, even though that's not like a story-based game, but The Crew, Watch Dogs, The Division, Elder Scrolls Online in full on next year. All these new IPs coming out. Titanfall, of course. So we'll have to see. Yeah, the email from Respected is awesome. I already tweeted him. He watches World of Tanks apparently, and he's real upset.
I would like you. I would like you to copy paste the email into the Skype
Yeah, please.
chat.
I want to read it. Please.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about esports right now, though, is that like there are games like that we don't know shit about. They're still massive.
I just don't think
that's
any
how
of us
most people in
can
America are
vote
with
for
soccer.
it.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
We just can't vote for it because we don't have enough information on it. Like, we're not experienced with it.
It's just like soccer for most Americans. Like
Exactly.
it's the best example.
Paste the email, please.
It's in there.
We just did
Oh, did you?
twice.
What the
Whose
fuck?
fault?
Yeah,
Why is it?
I didn't see Brandon do it first. So.
It's not in my doc. The fuck? Let me refresh.
No,
No,
in
not
the
the doc.
Skype
It's
chat.
in Skype.
Oh, Skype. Oh, okay.
Why am I
So-
specifically an idiot? Of
I
all
don't
of
know.
us who of all of us who crapped on World of Tanks, I'm the one who's an idiot.
How about you go play your stupid anime garbage?
I don't know what anime
I love that
play.
that just
I
comes out of
watch
left
some
field. There's no
animes.
reason for that.
There's no reason. Fuck that guy.
DLA is an idiot. Go play your stupid anime garbage.
Respected's a bro. That's the part.
I'm not even mad. I'm just flabbergasted. I think he's hating on the Gunners,
Go
but he
play
doesn't
your
want to mess
stupid
with John.
anime garbage, maybe the best.
He doesn't want to mess with
I
John because he runs Twitch and he'll get banned, and clearly he runs Twitch. And Dan runs this shit KBMOD, so he doesn't want to disrespect.
I thought John's
me.
last
I'm
name
free
was
pickings.
Twitch.
Yeah.
John's
No,
last name is Twitch,
his
right?
first
Respected-
his first name is Twitch. His
Oh,
second name
Twitch
is
John.
Respected,
Oh.
Respected has timed me. Respected has disrespected me before. It's fine. He's a good dude. Dan, he's been on stream with Chaz before playing Arma. He's a hardcore Arma dude, or was anyway.
I'm glad he's passionate about it. I'd rather have people actually give a shit. Like, the fact that there's a list with this many games for esports that we can be like, yo, does
great.
this make it? That's good. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
The old generation's dying off. Go die, you old fuckers, so that we can actually legitimately, get this shit moving.
Esports for President 2016.
That's right.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
All right, first question, viewer question. At Jake Todd asks, this is probably against Twitch TOS, but should I take LSD and attempt to play Andy Chamber while streaming?
No.
I'm not joking.
No, you will die. You will actually
you
die.
will die.
Do it.
Andy
Go do
Chamber
that
is the
somewhere
perfect
else. Have
blend
fun.
of-
Battle
Yeah,
Cam. Do it on
Do it
Battle
on,
Cam.
Battle Cam. Yeah.
Do it
I'll
on
give you my
Ustream.
referral link. Do it on Battle Cam.
Don't fuck with LSD. Just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do LSD.
Okay, what are you? Are you fucking the man? Well, let the man do what he wants. What the hell?
I mean, I guess.
Jenkins, you're working for the feds. It's not a good look.
Yeah. Just let him do what he wants, man. Let him live
This
life.
is a public forum, and I'm going to be anti-drug right now. So.
Okay, well, that's great. I know never mind.
Okay, come on, man.
Nothing. So, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea, and I think you should do it, like John said, not on Twitch, though. Somewhere else.
All right, next question. @_Sally asks, how did you find balance between school and gaming in high school?
I did. I dropped out of all of them.
I did. I fucking played Final Fantasy VII till my eyes bled and then went to school after that.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty or Diablo 2 or whatever else.
The answer is I slept about average maybe 2 hours a night. Although that wasn't necessarily... That wasn't necessarily due to gaming. It's just that I was up anyway. So while I was up, I was gaming, which kind of, exacerbated the problem. But I've always had this night schedule. And when you have to go to school at 7 in the morning, I did all of high school in like 2 hours of sleep. And I can't do that anymore. I think I burnt myself out on the not sleeping thing.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do, because I have a lot of personal experience here.
Yes, you do.
You go home from school. Right, school gets out at 4 p.m. You go home, you go up to your room, open your book on your pull-out desk. You push your keyboard forward a little bit, right? So your book is in front of your keyboard, so you can be doing some schoolwork. You log into World of Warcraft, and then at about 1 a.m., you're done playing World of Warcraft, and your homework is done.
Really?
Yep.
How does that work? Is it magic?
This was Brandon every night of the week.
And when your parents come upstairs, you tab out and you hide your taskbar.
Nice.
Yep.
Let me tell you real quick what my strategy is right now if I were you, _. You drop your AP classes because fuck college credit anyway. Don't go into that debt fuckhole. It's pointless. You're going to end up getting a 4-year degree to go teach some kids, and about 3 1/4 years through the degree, you're going to realize that you hate kids and that you made a massive mistake, and now you're $60,000 in debt, and you're working at Burger King and sucking dick on the weekends for extra cash. So that just leads down a bad road. So drop the AP classes. Drop the
I don't
AP
know if
classes
this
altogether.
applies to everywhere, but yeah, I think AP classes are kind of shitty because at least at my school, the credits that you got from the credit that you would get from your AP class was only applicable to like the local colleges. Like in Minnesota, it was Minnesota colleges and then like Wisconsin and the Dakotas. Like that's
all right. Listen, are we really going to even ask Nick Fenton his opinion on AP classes?
That's not true. No. That's not true, Nick. Though that's not true.
That's why I said I don't know if it's like that.
The problem with AP is that you have to pass the AP test, and if you don't pass it, you just wasted money. And some of them
you get a credit, but are your credits applicable to all the colleges that you would want?
Yes, colleges will take advanced placement.
Maybe not in Minnesota, but like,
and the other fucking 49 states is fine.
I'm not qualified to answer this question because I didn't balance either. So
no, I didn't balance it at all.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's what I would just say, that you focus on one or the other, and then hope that by the time you have your mediocre grades out of high school, you figure out what you want to do with your life. You get a job in the gaming industry or something, or entertainment.
Sleep less is my advice. Yeah. I do it now. It still works.
My advice, which got me through my years, was just I was efficient as fucking school. I would do homework like in class. I just make the most of the time. So I knew I was there. I was stuck. I didn't slack off. When I'm in class, I did all the homework before class was out. And if it got assigned at the end, I was doing it in the next class. So I'd never go home with homework unless it was a project.
Let me give you a small insight into senior year, my senior year math class, where I slept for, I think, a total during that entire year, 1 hour and 30 minutes during my senior year, because I was playing Counter-Strike the whole time. I would get into study hall, and my whole, I had the easiest schedule senior year. I would have 3 study halls back to back. It was insane. And you know what? I would have 3 study halls, which is 3.5 hours to do homework. And you know what I'd do? I'd sleep during the study halls. And so by the time math class rolled around, I was refreshed and ready to talk strats with my friend Luke, who sat next to me, about what we were going to do in our Cal match that night. You know what I mean? So it's just about organizing your time to the best of your ability so that you can game more.
God, why are you bringing me back all these memories?
Telling you, man.
I'll never forget Brandon furiously, I've told this story before, but Brandon furiously yelling about some boss mechanic, but whispering the yell because his parents couldn't know that he was on Ventrilo. And so, like, we're sitting there, like, I'm screaming obscenities at people because I was not fucking nice when I was an officer in WoW. It was really bad, actually. I had a problem. I had an anger problem in that game for a long time. But then you would hear Brandon, like, yeah, Brandon would be in there, like, you have to fucking kill the monster. Like, it would just be like, but it would be like whispered over. And because he knew he's a smart guy, so he would like know stuff that we didn't see. But then he couldn't even get it across half the time, or he'd be typing furiously in whispers.
Yeah, why do you think I type so fast?
Because I see Brandon.
I wouldn't be reading because I was swearing at some jackass who was wiping the raid every time. Putting me in a dangerous space right now mentally.
The answer is it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to balance high school AP classes and gaming.
Yeah, and also you're going through all kinds of like inner emotional turmoil because you're like your body's changing and you got hormones changing and there's girl. Yeah. I mean, it's just a shit show, man. I mean, to be honest, just get through it alive. Okay, that's it. That's all I got to say. You'll be fine. Come out the other side and realize that a lot of it doesn't matter at all.
Yep,
most of it. Wow.
All right.
Real depressing.
Next question, a somewhat serious question. What feature of the PS4, Xbox One, or Wii U, I don't know why that's included in this, but anyway, would you want incorporated into PC gaming, software or hardware related?
None of them. Can't the PC do pretty much everything that all of those can do?
Yeah, show me your touchscreen on your PC, bitch.
Okay, I mean...
I didn't think so. There's no mic support. There ain't no touchscreen. Controller. There may be some touchscreen iPad bullshit. But
does your keyboard vibrate? No, I didn't think your keyboard vibrated. Yeah. Fuck that.
Are you mad, motherfucker? Are you mad? Yeah, do what it do.
Is that a Vita or a PSP? What is that? Oh, that's the Wii U controller. Oh,
yeah, this is the gamepad for the Wii U. I especially like the levels in Mario. Like, I can use the classic controller, which is way better because it's an actual controller, and then random levels make you use this thing. It's really fucking annoying. It's like, yeah, you have to set up your gamepad. I'm like, oh yeah, I love doing that. I love blowing into microphones to move platforms.
I want to connect.
My least favorite thing.
I want to connect on my PC.
What the fuck up?
Oh god! I can't even. No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I don't want to connect at all.
No, I think the short answer is no.
I'm trying to think of a joking answer. I really can't think.
You can't do
the only thing I'm not sure which one of them does this, but I'm sure one of them does. If I would like to see incremental downloads, like being able to play a game before it's fully downloaded.
They both do.
The only like this is for certain games already do this. Like WoW does this, but like I would love to see that more integrated into PCs.
Yeah. I agree with
that. So that you don't have to download, especially with games getting so large, so that you don't have to download all 50 gigs of a game before you can start playing it.
Can I talk about something specific, super specific?
Yeah. Yes.
I wish that I could get all a huge library of PS1 classics on my PC.
Oh, that could be my that I think that's everybody's thing. We wish we could get all of the fucking console games on PC.
Yeah.
There we go.
I wish Halo was on
PC. That's the answer. Yeah. I feel like Halo that is the only good answer.
I wish the good Halos that aren't Halo 2 were on PC.
Whoa, no. Halo 2 is fucking excellent on Xbox. It's fucking garbage on PC. We want good Halo 2. We want good Halo 2.
I'm okay if I have to use a USB controller or whatever. I got all that shit ready to go. I want Medieval 2. I want Spyro the Dragon, and having to resort to emulation is a kind of a crapshoot sometimes. If anybody watched my fucking Smash Brothers Melee, it was a garbage fucking game to emulate. Yeah, you can emulate, but it's pretty hit or miss. Give me good ports of console games.
I think you'll get more of that, though. I think your wish is going to get fulfilled.
I mean, we already have the Sonic collection. You can play any Sonic game almost.
Right.
On PC.
But I think it's just going to get easier and easier. For that
definitely.
But
good point in chat. That the Xbox One has the fantasy football stuff. So I would really,
which I can't get to in my browser.
I would really love a way to check my fantasy football stats on my PC.
Can't do it on my phone or anything either. Too tough.
So basically, the game library is the only thing. There we go.
I like the downloading thing though. That's really good. Actually, it works really well apparently too. All right, this question is from Oh Hey Dialect. Oh, yeah. I think that's the name. All right.
You got it.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving food? Suck it, EU bros, America.
Fucking stuffing. It has to be stuffing.
I like.
Stuffing,
He says.
well,
Does it?
Depends on the
Suck
stuffing.
it, EU bro is America. Apostrophe.
Yeah.
Are they talking about
Bro
like
is.
his America? Like
It's his.
he has ownership over America. That bro has the ownership
Yeah,
of
no, he's
America.
saying bro is America.
Bro's America.
Yeah, it could.
Oh, okay.
It's his
Okay,
America.
Yeah. It's
That
the
bro's
EU bro.
It's possessive America.
Fuck,
The
fuck
EU
you,
bro.
Europe.
It's his America.
We are bros, America.
Okay.
This is
I'm
America
gonna
that
go.
belongs to a bro.
As far as the question, I'm gonna go with green bean casserole. If you haven't had it, it's
Ooh,
fucking-
that is
Very good.
like
It's
that's
very
one that's
good.
real underrated. Like you don't think
It is
of it,
good.
and it's not in your foremind of Thanksgiving.
This is the thing, though. My favorite part of
Solid.
Thanksgiving is the end because I love making Thanksgiving sandwiches with all the leftover
Oh
shit.
goddamn!
That's
turkey
the
sandwich.
day
the
after?
end,
Yes.
with all the shit, stuffing, cranberry, turkey.
Dude.
Oh my god.
That's why this question is so
Probably
hard for me because it's like I combine everything. So
Yeah.
I'll combine like mashed potatoes, turkey, stuffing, and gravy into just one like
just
super
mash
meal.
it.
Mash. Yeah.
Some kind
Yeah.
of horrible.
I'm gonna
like,
have a good
milkshake
Thanksgiving 'cause
sludge.
it's gonna be me, Ada, and Diction having Thanksgiving dinner at my house.
That's actually awesome.
That sounds
Have
really
Diction say a
awesome.
prayer and record it. A Thanksgiving prayer from Diction.
Yeah, dude.
I think we talked about this before, but I don't fuck with turkey. I'm all about the ham. Ham is where it's at.
I eat ham at Christmas, but
Like turkey is so like hit and miss. Like it's either
Yeah,
dry
it
or
has
it's
to be
good,
cooked.
and it's like eh. Like
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go with
if
ham
that's
because ham is
somebody,
fucking
those are
delicious
different.
every time.
and also
I'm
your
Not
not
enough
with, like,
community
I'm-
events for turkey.
My family, we make both. We make a turkey and a ham. So I go
Hey,
with the ham.
We're making a rack of lamb this year.
Oh
along
my
with our
god,
turkey.
that's
See, I would like to
Right.
have Megan's Thanksgiving. That seems like
Yeah.
it'd be a good thing to have.
It's a good time.
I do have to say, I was a big fan of the stuffing, but it's been fucked up for me a couple of years, and I found out that there are certain ways I just don't like stuffing if it's like overcooked or if there's too much celery in it, and like small things that can swing the whole dish. You would think that stuffing is very, very, you can fuck up with stuffing. There's a lot of wiggle room because it's just like a whole mishmash of things. But
stuff
no,
it into the goddamn bird. Yeah, so you
but
like
no, yeah. If you do it wrong, you can fuck up stuffing pretty easily.
See,
Candied
I
yams.
can't disagree
Candied
more.
yams are just put them in my mouth.
No, you need to get out
So
of here
good.
with that.
So good. Fuck you. It's so good.
My food is
I will
mashed
fight you
potatoes
over
because mashed potatoes is the glue between all of your other Thanksgiving foods. It's
mashed
fucking
I
potatoes.
agree with
If
that.
you have-
fuck with-
there is
I will
nothing
fuck
without
with mashed potatoes any
Like,
time of the year. Mashed
it goes
potatoes
in
are
between.
fucking
It goes
just
well with
glorious.
like what Thanksgiving food does that mashed potatoes not go well with?
What food does mashed potatoes not
That's
go
a
well?
fucking good point. Maybe champagne, but
Actually, doubt it. Have you ever tried champagne and mashed potatoes? I bet it's fucking great. I bet it is. I mean,
It'd
don't
probably
mix
be
it.
good.
Don't mix it. I mean, like sip your champagne and eat.
We always make delicious
potatoes.
mixed drinks the last few Thanksgivings too. So those are good, but you can have those anytime.
mashed
God,
potatoes is too
but
powerful.
not instant mashed potatoes. Instant mashed potatoes are fucking nasty. You get
outta
your
here.
grandma. You get your grandma.
No,
to make
you can get
fucking
you get the
handmade mashed
cheesy,
potatoes.
the au gratin or whatever they call them, the cheesy ones. Those are fucking
Okay,
the
those
best.
are pretty good. Those are
Those
pretty
are
good.
so good.
Yeah, but not for Thanksgiving. Come on. If it's
No,
Thanksgiving,
dude,
you're
They're
making
good for
scallop
everything. It
cheesy
doesn't
Yeah, you
fucking
can, no,
matter.
you can put those ones next to your mashed potatoes, your fucking homemade mashed potatoes,
that-
and
and you
get-
mix
get
them together.
all your
Yeah.
fucking potatoes
Yes.
in one thing.
with your au gratin instant mashed potatoes, you have a side of real mashed potatoes. That's your meal. That's your Thanksgiving meal.
I'm getting real hungry.
Only in
here. We need to
America
stop.
do just
We
we
need to stop.
Thanksgiving
starch
is
till
like
can't-
Chinese food where you just put everything in a pile and then you eat it. Like that's what it is. Like you don't fucking
You tie your
Just
hands
go out.
behind your back and you just go face down and put them.
yeah, you just fucking.
And then
You were asking
I actually
why-
just take my pants off and usually just start fucking whatever food's in front of me. That's my
Well,
family.
well, actually, my
the
family, we
turkey
just
already
put-
has the hole and everything.
my family, we roll out a slip and slide covered in Thanksgiving food. And we take turns
Covered in
sliding down
gravy.
it.
Just-
We all take our clothes off and then we just
Bigger
meet in
than
the
a
middle
gravy.
and eat it
Yeah.
off of each other.
Yeah,
Dude, gravy is real fucking good though. Gravy's
The thought of what gravy is not that great though, because it's fucking nasty.
I think I like gravy so much more at Thanksgiving because that's one of the only times where you actually will get like solid homemade gravy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
real gravy,
Yeah.
not like just a canned thing of gravy.
All right, final question, which could be answered with lots of mashed potatoes, possibly. If you from A.Riff, if you won the lottery, he puts 20 million out there as a figure. What would be the first thing you would do with the money?
$20 million.
Pay off.
Are we not doing the Powerball?
Ada's mom's debt.
Yeah, I'd just pay out. I'd buy my house. Like I just pay my house.
I would buy a house.
I'd also buy a house.
Do an apartment, like a nice apartment. Like I would actually consider moving out to California because I would suddenly be able to afford it. I got all those friends out there.
No, you don't.
It's nice change of pace.
I'm not your friend, pal.
You don't have any friends.
I wasn't counting either of you. So if I was talking about,
you know
like,
what? We're not your friends. That's great, dude. Thanks, man.
I counted Scott.
Oh wait, I forgot the situation. He's rich. Fuck.
I didn't count Nick or Ches, and they were both the ones.
Listen, if you won the lottery, we'd be really good friends.
Yeah, like
I'm incredibly best friends with all of us. Yeah,
sure we would,
dude.
We'd be entourage.
Love Christmas when I was around.
Dude, you know what? I might even start getting into Pokemon if you win that.
Oh man, yo, it'd be crazy if you won the lottery because I'd all of a sudden be interested in things that you are interested in.
I'd be sitting there like waving like a handful of 20s in Nick's face. Be like, so what do you think about Zelda, Nick? He's like,
wow, no, like the character progression over the different things is great. Like I love the way that Zelda like swings her sword around, like she's got that horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wears that Major's mask, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, Major's mask. Yeah.
I'd start playing a lot more TF2. Do some spy work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You record spy footage.
I might let you beat me in MGE if you have.
Hey Nick, I heard you won the lottery.
John's still shady about that, paying you $500.
John is still like considering not letting him win in this scenario. Like he's still just kind of like,
He can't let his heart do it. It's just like
that would be like the easiest $500 he ever made, and he would just be like, I can't do it. He's just so bad. I'm standing still, and he missed me like 4 times. Like
a good idea from chat. I think Scott would buy a 4K monitor and use it for Twitter.
That's true. You know what? If I had 20 million, I would absolutely do that. I would totally
definitely. Do that. He would still keep his shitty monitor.
1440 by 900, man.
Yeah, the 900. Yeah, definitely.
Good.
All right. Well,
Jesus, how long would you? What time? It's 10 o'clock.
2.5 hours, the same as the last two because awards. But thank you for coming out to the podcast this week for episode 119. We appreciate it every time.
Yep.
Go check us out on Facebook, facebook.com.